Hello, everyone, and welcome. Sorry I didn't go as early as I normally do. I've been packing away the Krieg lasgun for Nerd Princess, so I had to make a box for that and stuff. So a little bit late today in terms of starting the stream, but we're on time, so it's fine. We're on time for 5 o'clock, so it's all good. Right. Anyway, please welcome the amazing DC Theo Models, Daniel Theophani. How are you, Daniel?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Defrig?
I'm really good. I'm so happy I've got you on my stream. I am so happy I've got you on my stream. It is so hot today that I'm not wearing my checkered coat because it's so hot today. It is ridiculously hot today.
Well, my PC died, so I'm on my laptop. So
Yeah,
this is
you
it's
you were
all,
saying, I was like, wow, is it that hot in your room? That is insane.
well, I'm actually in my shed for once.
Yeah, the workshop. I'm loving it. But I would like, before we even start, chat, before we even start with the questions like I normally do, can we just, for 1 second, appreciate the talent that this man has? Because not only has Daniel won how many sci-fi weekenders?
One,
You've won a sci-fi weekender. You judged how many now?
Judge
You've
two.
judged two. So you've won one, you've judged two, you've
I
won
was
other competitions as well, I know.
I was London MCM Judge's Choice with my Reinhardt,
Oh, yes, that Reinhardt was brilliant, like absolutely beautiful.
and a year before that, I was Judge's Choice in the May London MCM with my Baymax.
Way, Baymax! Yes, love
So,
Baymax.
and I've kind of not actually done any competitions since then, really. Oh, I did Insomnia. I got Craftsman's Award 2 years after MCM London with the same
Oh,
Reinhardt.
wow, that is awesome. Well,
So,
listen, I think you're an incredibly talented builder and genuinely an amazing friend as well, because we've had some good times. We've had some good times.
some very good times.
But again, before I carry on with the questions, can we all just look behind Daniel right now and just see that what I consider to be just beautiful artwork? Look at that. It is just outstanding. It's so hard to explain to people in just words. When you're speaking to someone, you're telling them, "Oh yeah, my friend Daniel Theophani, he's DC Theo Models. He builds props stuff." But you can't just say he just builds props and stuff. The amount of detail you go into is beyond. Because you bought Baymax to me to refurbish, didn't you?
Well, after the bonfire discussion,
After
yes.
the bonfire discussion, this man built the most amazing and so cute Baymax cosplay, armored Baymax to be precise, and it's this huge red, beautifully put together, absolutely adorable Baymax, and it was sadly what was slightly falling apart. It wasn't falling apart that much.
He'd taken a lot of battle damage when we moved house. I had nowhere to store him, so he was in a tent in the back garden for about
Oh,
6 months,
oh,
and I just lost the will and was gonna put him on a bonfire when you
literally.
stopped me.
We were talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to throw Baymax on a bonfire." And I was like, "You can't throw Baymax on a bonfire." It was so sad. So we had a chat, and you brought Baymax down, and I spent 7 days straight, from 7 a.m. till like 8 p.m. for 7 days straight, working on Baymax, completely doing him from top to bottom. When I say refurbish, I'm talking just fixing things that needed fixing and a complete repaint. I did not have to
He was
build anything extra or like actually manufacture a piece of him put back together, because the entire cosplay was perfectly fine in terms of the strength and the durability and everything. It just
well,
needed a freshening up.
just here.
Oh, is that the arm?
That's the arm hanging up.
Way! I
So
love the
he's
arm.
he is now stored safely
Do you know what? I really, really
behind the Dragon Slayer.
behind the Dragon Slayer. This man has more props than you have any idea. And I thought I had a lot of props, but this man, I tell you what. Um,
I suppose I
too
can
early
show
for
you
inappropriate
quickly.
comments. Nah, go for inappropriate comments. So here's more of Dan's cosplay work.
The wall of cosplay.
You've got Baymax in the background there. You've got
Baymax.
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt is kind of dotted around. Down on the floor in the bottom corner there is Briareos.
Briareos, yeah.
And then Epion's kind of going on in this corner.
And Epion's there. I love that you've like put everything in your shed now. Like keep it nice and safe, keep it nice and tidy. For those of you also who don't know, he has an amazing Reinhardt, but you've actually named him Rhine Max, haven't you?
Yeah. So I drew a picture just after Christmas, way back when Overwatch kind of had first come out, and my little girl, who is my cosplay advisor,
Hey,
said,
you
"Why
got to
don't you
have
color it?"
somebody. You got to have somebody.
Well, she was the one who told me to make Baymax originally, but she said to me when I'd drawn this picture of Reinhardt, "Why don't you color it up like Baymax?" So
Yes.
I colored the picture and I posted it on Facebook. And one of my friends, Ben, Ben all the time, he goes by, turned around to me and
Ben
went,
all the time. Yes.
you should so build this. And I was like, no, I'll never get it done in time for Sci-Fi Weekender. It's like 3 months away. And he went, just do it. So I did, and then I built it in 2 months,
Oh,
start to finish.
oh, that is just like, oh.
Oh, don't
Oh,
get me wrong.
I'm Hot Rod Welder. Wait, there's an Epion cosplay? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hot damn. Also, just to let my mod know, I have linked Daniel's Instagram and his Facebook in our private chat there so that you can throw them up into the chat here on Twitch so everyone can go and have a look at his work. Please visit this man's Instagram. It is so beautiful. You can see all the work he puts into everything, and it's just, oh, I can't praise you enough because I know this man and he just doesn't see it, and it bugs the hell out of me. And I didn't tell you I was going to embarrass the fuck out of you on my stream today, but I had to because, like, it's not so much embarrassing as it is just lifting him up because, man alive, go visit his Instagram. It's in the chat now. Go visit it. Have a look at the work this man does. It's just beyond beautiful. It literally, so envious of your talents. It's just what you do is so beautiful. I love the work you do.
Thank you.
Just had to get that out there before we start. I know I don't do that for everybody, but a lot of people I know, a lot of the cosplayers I know, they're not like Dan. Dan's such a kind-hearted person and just a wonderful human being. So please go support him on Facebook and Instagram. He is there. Go support him. But we should start off with the questions now. I think we should make a start with the questions. How long have you been cosplaying now?
Okay, so possibly about 5 years.
Wait, 5 years?
So hang on.
I thought you'd been cosplaying much longer than that.
No, my first cosplay was a Sci-Fi Weekender. I did a Destiny Hunter costume.
Oh, your Destiny Hunter I loved. That was such a good cosplay. Wow, that was
It was interesting, but I kind of was disheartened with it slightly, but it was my first ever one, and so many people were just kind of supportive and saying, "Go, it's brilliant for a first cosplay." And then Baymax came around.
Honestly, for the fact that was your first cosplay, there are pictures on your Instagram, I believe, of that cosplay, isn't there?
Yes, I believe I did first versus last, which would be my Berserk cosplay.
Then, yeah. Honestly, I would tell people to go to your Facebook more, but your Instagram is more picture orientated because that's what I want people to see is the pictures of your work. Oh, Bryn, we've got some follows going through for you. That's awesome, awesome. Anyway, I genuinely cannot tell you guys how amazing his work is. I'm actually going through a bit of your Instagram now because every time I see your work, it just blows my mind. I look at some of the stuff I made, and I never try and compare. Because if you compare yourself to other people who are like far better than you, then obviously it's gonna knock you down a bit. But what I tend to do is look at what I can do, and I'm like, I'm really happy with what I can do, but I'm in love with what you can do. Like some of the work I've seen on your Instagram is just mind blowing. Like do you know what one of my favorite pictures of Rhine Max is?
Go on.
Right, the raw photo. You know the one of just you stood outside. You were just. It's got the caulking on the seams and all the sanding and everything. And it's,
Oh, you mean the ones where it's just my normal
well,
arms?
it's just your normal. But it's you building it. You can look at that and you see, as a builder myself, you can see how much work has gone into it, and it's beyond. It's beyond. It is absolutely beyond. So, genuinely, I know I keep saying this. Go follow. He's so amazing. Instagram, Facebook. Go have a look. So. I asked these questions to everyone, but there are going to be a few that I'm going to put in there, and especially there's going to be a few from the chat, I hope, who can jump on in there. But
go for it.
Why do you cosplay?
It's a release. I'm not me. When I'm in my cosplay, I'm someone else. I've got a helmet on. It's not me, and I'm just having fun.
Because, I mean, we've spoken before. You said you prefer cosplays with helmets because you had specifically that word had. You weren't crazy okay with not having a helmet on at the time.
I suffer anxiety about going on stage,
Yeah.
people looking at me, and I was basically told by Adam from Sci-Fi Weekender.
Adam from Sci-Fi Weekender, absolutely.
In his kind and caring way to get over it and get your butt on stage and do it.
Honestly, Adam helped.
He meant it with love.
Yeah,
so.
Adam helped Dan a lot, I think, when it came to that. And I think, especially with all of us, David, you, me, Angel, everyone we've because you've been judging on, you've been a judge on stage with me.
I have, yes, most recently.
Yeah, quite. The last Sci-Fi Weekender, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing to see how much you've come out of your shell, especially when you do your cosplays now. Half the time, you don't even bother wearing your helmet. You're like,
because why the heat in the helmet?
Yeah, it's too much heat in the helmet. Why the hell? And I love how you just walk around confidently now. And compared to when I met you, which was the best ever, it was London Film and Comic Con.
It was, yes.
I was the MC. I was the master of ceremonies for that weekend. And I go up and I see this Baymax cosplay, and I've been eyeing this Baymax cosplay up all day. And I've been walking around, and I've been seeing Baymax, just looking down. The suit was on the floor at one point, and I was just looking, and I was just walking off. I didn't want to bother whoever owned the suit. And then I saw the suit walking around, and I was just like, oh, there he is. That's such a cool cosplay. I might go up and chat to him in a bit. And I go up, and I think you said, could you give me a hand? Could you take my helmet off? I think you asked me to pop your helmet off.
Yes, yep.
And this helmet's so cute. Have you got the helmet with you?
It's currently packed away,
that's
unfortunately.
Fine. But the helmet's so cute because it's Baymax's head, and it's the cutest little thing you've ever seen. It's got the eyes and everything. It's got a little mesh visor, but you've made it look like the eyes, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I pop this helmet off, and I just see this poor man drenched in sweat. Like, holy crap. And there's me, obviously. I'd been in my Iron Warrior a few times by then. It was still quite new to me, the wearing the Iron Warrior. But I knew what this man was going through. And I looked at you and I was like, you need a drink. You need water. You need water. Yep. And I fed you water, didn't I?
Yes.
Honestly.
That was my third ever big convention. No, second ever big convention wearing Baymax. I'd never done a London Film or an MCM or any of those prior to that. I'd only done 2 Sci-Fi Weekenders, which are huge in themselves, but on overall space and being mobbed, to be fair, MCM, I was scared because I stopped traffic in my Baymax costume.
Yeah, I got told off for blocking exits in my Iron Warrior. It's the best. But honestly, when I met you at London, I never thought it would get to the point where we would just become like the closest friends. I love it when things like that just happen. Like, it just happens. I know, chat, like, it's very cute, but like you guys need to understand, this is the nicest human you will ever meet. He's just the nicest person. We were traveling to Sci-Fi Weekender, 7 hours worth of driving, and you were like, nope, you're stopping halfway, you're staying at our house. You're going to get fed, you're going to have a bed to sleep in, and it was awesome. It was the absolute best.
We had the room. There's no point in doing a massive slog if you got somewhere to stop. And my wife and kids were very happy to have you guys there. So
it was, and I loved it. And obviously the least I could do was then throw all your cosplay into the van I had and just take it to Sci-Fi Weekend. Absolutely no problem at all. But honestly, I know I keep like bigging you up, but you deserve it. You deserve it. You're an absolutely awesome human being and a brilliant cosplayer. So this is something I would like to know actually, because I know you're currently building, and you're probably going to keep building, knowing you.
Yes.
But is cosplay something you see yourself doing in 10 years?
Yes.
Yeah?
Easily.
Easy?
Yeah.
I love that.
Even if it's building stuff for other people, I can't see myself not being involved in cosplay in some shape or form. It's become part of who I am. I relax when I'm building stuff. I have fun when I'm out in the costume. I have more fun meeting up with my friends and my cos family, as we've come to call it.
Yeah, cosplay fam. I love the cosplay family. Oh, it almost makes us sound like a mafia group, like the cosplay family. You don't want to
Just without the
disappoint the
power.
family. Obviously, I think Adam would be the mafia don. Actually, no, you would be the mafia don. You've got the beard for it. You're just more. You wouldn't have to say a word, and the fact that your name is Daniel Theophani, it's like, you must not bother, Mr. Theophani. It's like, who? You walk in. I can imagine you in a suit, a perfectly tailored suit, just sat on a nice big chair with a huge desk. Just don't say a word, and people would be terrified of you.
So there is a picture on my personal Facebook of me in a suit when I got married, obviously. But
I love that picture.
To imagine what I would look like in a suit. If you're familiar with Jessica Rabbit and the bouncer that throws Bob Hoskins out, the big gorilla in a suit, that's pretty much me in a suit.
Oh, yeah, but come on, like, you say that, but that's awesome. Like, that is just the coolest. Oh, yeah, and he needs a cat. Yeah, you need a cat, a white cat.
A white cat.
Just a white cat.
Not furless ones. I'm sorry, I don't like Siamese cats.
Oh no! You gotta have a big fluffy white cat, like not Doctor Evil. Doctor No from James Bond. Yeah, Doctor Evil has a hairless cat, whereas Doctor No has a big white fluffy cat. But like when it comes to seeing you in your cosplays, just every time, especially at Sci-Fi Weekender when it was Rhinemax.
Yep.
And you got all of us to sign your hammer.
Yes, well, because he unfortunately retired at Sci-Fi Weekender.
That was the last time. Well, I mean, you say it's the last time. You said it was the last time for Baymax as well, but I'm feeling maybe Baymax might make an appearance.
Baymax will probably make an appearance again, and if I can refurbish Rhinemax, then we'll see. But the hammer has now been clear lacquered with all those signatures.
Oh yes, I love that. So I love that hammer.
That hammer is mine. It's never going anywhere. Even if I sold parts of the rest of the costume off,
it would be like does not include hammer.
Does not include hammer or helmet or the shield because
the shield's awesome. I love the shield. The shield's amazing. Again, links in chat. Please, for those of you who just joined us. Go follow Dan on Instagram and Facebook. His Instagram is filled with just amazing work, especially with your current helmet. Do you want to grab your helmet again?
Oh, yeah.
Your current helmet. That is, and you've made the faceplate removable.
Yeah, so it's magnets.
That is beyond it. That's just amazing.
So I have a affectionately named minion called Trev. Normally it's Trev.
Love Trev.
Who
Trev's
helps me get in and out of these massive costumes. He does it purely for the fact that I said, could you help me the first time with Baymax? And ever since, he's just kind of, whenever I go to an event and he's free, he comes with me. And he kind of turned around to me one time. He said, are you ever going to actually design a helmet that you can keep wearing
but you can take
and
the
not overheat? So that was what spurred the whole taking out mask. I do apologize. I think my chair's just gone through the floor of my shed.
Oh no! I saw you just flinch, and I thought the back of the chair had gone because this chair I'm on has gone, and I've had to repair it with a PVC pipe. It's just it could go at any second.
Normally in my shed, I don't actually sit on a chair at all. I don't have a chair in here.
Oh, you just walk around and just
I work standing up.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll put a chair in for this, and yeah,
Oh, don't worry, don't worry. I'm sure you're fine. I hope you're fine. Anyway,
I can balance. It's fine.
it's the shed I think that's going to take. Do you want to have a look at it do you want to have a look at it and see
Nah,
if
it's fine.
you cool? Okay, awesome. Just
Yeah,
want to be
cool.
sure.
We'll carry on. Professionalism.
I don't want you to carry on and like be balancing the whole time and like hurt yourself. Like,
Luckily, there's lots of foam to cushion my fall.
hopefully, yeah, but not nothing you've built. I hope.
See, now, as I say, when it comes to like costumes and that, I let kids and everyone handle it. It's just foam and it can be repaired.
Yeah.
So if I did fall on something that I've made, it can be fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
with things like my bolt pistol and stuff, I'm happy to throw them I say throw them, hand them
Throw
to
them.
children, not throw them at children. But speaking of Trev, your spotter, I think I'm quite right in saying that Trev is at, I'd say, the same level of awesomeness as my spotter, Ranger of Creek Cosplay, Harry. I think, because he's also just like, hell yeah, I'll help you out whenever.
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, I couldn't do the costuming without Trev.
yeah,
I
literally.
never would
same
have
here.
got anywhere without him.
Yeah.
Same said of, so I've got a friend, his name's Chris Stiff.
Chris,
Brilliant
you have the
surname.
best friends with the nicknames. I love it. Like,
Well, that's not a nickname, that's his actual surname.
oh,
And
brilliant.
He said he will buy you a drink if you can come up with a joke about his surname that he hasn't heard. And he hasn't bought anyone a drink so far.
That's a challenge.
And he's going to kill me for saying that out loud. He was the guy who actually got me into cosplay in full.
Oh, no way.
He'd been to a sci-fi weekender 2 years running before that, and invited me and a couple of other friends. And the instructions was, come along, have a laugh. It's all sci-fi based, but you feel out of place if you don't have a costume.
Yeah.
And from there, I looked and I couldn't buy a costume because I'm not the smallest of guys. So I thought, I'll build myself one. How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? That's a real Top Gear term there.
Yeah, well, but it's difficult. It's not easy, but I've had fun.
I'm just checking the chat now to see if Ranger of Krieg is here. Harry, my legendary spotter. Because last time he was in the chat, he was typing and asking questions and stuff, but his name wasn't coming up. So I'm going to keep an eye on chat for him today and see if he's about, because we have no idea why that happened.
I don't think I've actually ever met Harry or Ranger Krieg in person yet.
You know what? You would have met him at the Sci-Fi Weekender this year, because I had full plans and fully intending on dragging him along to Sci-Fi Weekender. But even at like your normal everyday conventions where, you know, it's, hey, he is here, brilliant. Even at normal conventions where we're both stone sober and just going around doing stuff, he's sort of like watching out for me and making sure nothing happens. And I told him, yeah, but Sci-Fi Weekender's kind of different because we tend to get wankered for 4 days and walk around in giant foam suits. And he was just like, you could see the sweat and the Vietnam flashbacks. So I've told him he has to watch out for Sci-Fi Weekender, but he's going to love it.
Here's the interesting fact. All these Sci-Fi Weekenders we've done, 4 days of drinking, why is it I'm the only one who's fallen over in my costume?
Do you know what, right? I actually genuinely intended that not once was I going to actually mention during this stream that you had fallen over in your cosplay.
You know what?
Because
can't...
honestly, I just didn't want, like, I myself I've fallen over in my Iron Warrior when I had stilts in it. When the stilt went boom like that, and I went, fuck, and just fell. And it was just like, it was literally, I remember it to this day, and I had a weird out-of-body experience. My stilt went gunk, and I went, for fuck, just away. And there was no way I could stop. I was just gone. That was it. Done. Gone. And when I was walking behind you, and David was walking here, and I saw you go,
it
hurts.
Emotion.
It hurts to think about it. KGB. Me and Harry call KFC KGB. Me and Harry have a thing of every con we do, we will stop by a KFC on the way home and have ourselves a little treat every time.
It's the little rituals that keep it going.
It's the little rituals, yeah. Like, you know. But I drink, but it's part of the act. Well, what's really funny is last Sci-Fi Weekend, I bought myself probably 2 drinks, and I bought a round for David and a few other friends. But mostly you'll see at Sci-Fi Weekend, if you're in a big cosplay, that you get bought drinks, and they get randomly handed to you, and you have to
Yes.
stop, give your weapons to someone, grab the drinks, and be like, thanks! Just drink them. It happens, and it's the best. Sci-Fi Weekender is so relaxed and so friendly, and it's just everyone's the same at Sci-Fi Weekender, which is what I love.
There is no other convention like it.
No. And as much as the other conventions that I do that I absolutely love, like the ones I do, on weekends, you just do a Saturday, or you just do a Saturday and Sunday, it's great. But when you do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're there for setup, because obviously we guest there, you're there for setup, you help set stuff up, you help run it, we do panels, we do stuff on stage, we judge, you're there, and we're part of the event, and it's just so nice just when you're there. And you can go up to, the organizer and just be like, this is a great event. And he just goes, awesome, can you go do this? I'm like, okay. And you just run off and go do stuff. I love Matt. Matt's awesome. Question from my friend Daniel. Question, when you build all your armor, do you use Pepakura?
So I started, but I have since stopped using Pepakura. Not because it's a bad thing. It's just... I discovered quite early on with Baymax, I used Pepakura, and you have all these seams. I went on an Artifakes course where I was helped to make the Dragon Slayer.
Oh, are you able to show us Dragon Slayer? No, you'd have to take it down, but can you tilt your camera up to have a look at it? Look at that. It's huge, by the way. He holds it over his shoulder, and Dan's a tall guy, but that sword makes you just look so small.
7-foot sword, and it was made with the help of Nick and Tabby at Artifakes.
Oh, absolutely.
Doing
awesome.
their weekend course. And it was all the information I took in from that course led to then making of the armor to go with it. So the sword came first, and then I decided I had to have the Berserker armor.
It's sort of, you have to, it sort of goes with it, really, hand in hand,
so
if you will. There you go, there's the armor.
And this armor was all made by templating using, brown paper. So rolls of brown paper.
And you just draw them out yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
See, I've only just started doing that lately with little parts, not big stuff, but little stuff.
So, but don't get me wrong, because Epion itself is part Pepakura, part patterned by myself.
Oh, so it's a hybrid, you'd say?
Yeah. So I found a really low res 3D image of Epion, and I started scaling it. So I used it for the scale, but then I've got a little Gunpla toy figure. And so all the detailing is coming from the figure. So where it differs, I then redraw the pattern. So it's on the living room wall at the time, Sharpie marks all over the wall because it bled through the paper.
Thank God you're redoing your living room.
Yeah. But very understanding wife as well.
Oh, yeah. Hats off to your amazing wife. She is like the best. When we were there, she was so welcoming and just so awesome. You have an amazing family there, Dan. You have an amazing family.
But yeah, the Pepakura thing, it has its limits is the problem. And I think I hit my limits with it. And the only way to go beyond that was then to start hand drawing. Now, Space Marines use Pepakura.
Yeah.
It's like the go-to resource.
Pretty much. I mean,
to be fair, even the Halo armors, the Master Chief, and all of that as well.
There's a lot of that going around.
So I would never say to never use Pepakura, but I would say use it as a tool and a stepping stone, but don't become solely reliant on it.
No, do you know what? I think I can agree with you there, because I started with Pepakura. My first files were Space Marine files that I printed out and cut out and taped together and made the Iron Warrior. But when now more than anything, I tend to use Lightburn, and I tend to use the laser to draw the patterns out onto the foam. Sometimes I even use the laser to actually cut the patterns out completely. But if they're big patterns, I get the laser to draw around and draw the patterns I want. If they're nice and big, and then I'll use my bandsaw to just cut them out.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I only recently got my bandsaw.
That is a lovely bandsaw, by the by. I actually changed the blade on mine the other day. The blade snapped on it, so luckily I have 3. So.
Again, I actually found I'm quicker with a knife than I am with the bandsaw.
I will tell you this. That will change. I thought I was quicker with a knife. Like I was quicker with my scalpel than I was with the bandsaw. But I use this for small pieces now. But doing the Krieg rifle stuff.
Do you not use snap blades then, Defrig?
I used to use snap blades. I actually have, believe it or not. Hold on, I actually have my ammo crate. And it's got snap blades in it. For anyone wondering, I have enough snap blades. I always keep stock of stuff. Always keep a fresh stock. At the moment, though, I'm using my older stock. These smaller ones. They're thinner ones, and they're better for 5mm. I find the big ones I tend to use for 10mm.
Again, it's all dependent on what you're cutting. I'll use the bigger ones for bigger pieces and smaller ones for smaller. And then I've got my little X-Acto knife for doing like really tight curves and corners. But it was the steadfast #1 rule from the Artifacts course. Second you feel your blade tug on the foam, change the blade. Don't sharpen it, change the blade. Because you'll never get it as sharp as it is brand new.
Do you know
and you get the best cuts.
That's interesting because I've seen people take those, as we were saying, the one you had mainly, not these small ones, the one you had, and I think Kamui does it as well. She just rubs it on a stone, and then it just cuts beautifully still. And
so there are stones and hewns and whetstones for sharpening blades, and you can do it. But when I was in a hurry I had a commission, I was literally just, as soon as the blade went, throwing it away and getting a new one because I didn't have time to stop and sharpen it. I was literally just cut.
Especially with the amount of work I've seen you do, the amount of cuts that you need to do in order to get these complex shapes and stuff that you do, especially for. Do you watch Odin Makes? Because he's just completed a Gundam build. I don't think he's as big as yours. It's more human scale.
Well, I'm an idiot. I go big.
No, God, no. No. You're not an idiot for going big. You're awesome for going big. Go big. Go big if you can. Go big, but don't go home. Enjoy yourself at the convention. Someone just added me with a highlighted message. Hey, Dove, did you choose a GoPro in the end? I have chosen a GoPro, but I have no money to buy it. I'm still currently looking for part-time work and stuff. So when I eventually get it, I'll be putting it in the helmet. And actually, hopefully getting some footage of me walking around a convention. And you recognise the ammo crate? Yeah, that's an ammo crate I got given, and I used it to carry my blades in to conventions so that I don't get told off for bringing them in, because not all conventions, but when we built the Iron Warrior, I brought that crate along with me, and the security guide was like, yeah, no, kids could open that and take some blades. So I handed him the crate, the ammo crate, and told him to open it. And this quite older gentleman, older than me, was like, and just couldn't figure it out. He couldn't open it. And when he did figure out that the handle came up, he didn't know how to open it. So I was like, if you, a trained security person, cannot get into this crate, I can assure you, no child is going to get into this crate. And luckily, the organizer of the event was like, yep, let them keep them. They're fine. They're safe. All the blades, every time we would use it, close it, pocket. Never leave it on the table. It was always use it, close it, pocket. Take the foam, pull it out, use it, close it, pocket.
So recently, I did an event. I was guesting at Insomnia, and funnily enough, we couldn't use heat guns or anything to heat the foam for demos because the insurance wouldn't cover heat guns or hot implements.
When you did that event, though, did you pre-ask them whether you were allowed to?
I was informed not to bring anything like that with me.
Oh, okay.
And I tried to explain that if we're making stuff, we kind of need to heat the foam.
You can't really.
So yeah, we ended up having to do a workaround on it. But
That's a shame. I'll tell you the annoying thing I had though with the event wasn't so much bringing the knives. It was I had to get everything tested. I don't think I have any of
electrical
the.
pat
Yeah,
testing.
I had to get everything pat tested. So I had to take all my tools, the hot glue guns, the knives, and the heat gun and everything. Sorry, took everything to have to get pat tested. Luckily, I was working in the holiday park at the time, where the guy who does all the pat testing for the caravans was just happy to test them for free. So, well, hey.
Bonus.
Yeah, and luckily, my heat gun didn't blow up the place. My heat gun is almost dead now. It's dying. It keeps shutting off randomly while I'm using it, so it's always fun. Hey, Harry, nice one. My friend Harry Wright is in, Ben's brother. How you doing, mate? I actually did not recognize your username until I literally just read it now. Sorry about that, because your highlighted message was there, and I just read the highlighted message. I didn't see your username, so welcome. How you doing? You all right? Thanks for coming. Really appreciate you jumping on. Speaking of like cosplay work and stuff, I have to say this at every stream so far now, is like ignore the current situation currently going on in the world. But do you prefer to work with others when you cosplay build, or do you prefer to work alone?
I'd love to work with other people. Don't get me wrong, I love working by myself, but the socializing, it's the whole socializing thing for me. If for example, I came to yours when I dropped Baymax off, and we were in the workshop and we were sanding him down together and doing bits and pieces.
I love that. There's a photo of you and me on my cosplay page in the Baymax folder of just both of us like like sanding. I loved it. That was back when the workshop was new.
Yes,
we had
brand
literally just painted the floor. I
Yep.
think that was.
Yep,
God.
it was empty.
Now it's packed. Now it's got loads of stuff in it. It's a proper workspace now. It's insane. Although I kind of wish sometimes it was still empty. So much more space when it was empty. Like.
So a very, very talented, more talented than me, cosplayer by the name of Dave Damon has a very good phrase for cosplay. Cosplay is like gas. It will fill any void.
Yeah.
So if you have a spare room in your house, cosplay will fill it.
Yeah.
If you have a spare space under the stairs, cosplay will fill it.
For those of you wondering, Dave Damon is actually the chap who gave me my Grey Knight. The one who decided, I don't want it anymore, I'm going to throw it away. And I was like, no, I'll save it. I think I have a habit of doing that now, don't I?
Yes, you are the champion of saving old cosplays.
I'm gonna do that. I'm going to be the person who saves old cosplays. That's what I'm going to try to do. Daniel, I sent you a... Oh, dude, you did not have to. Thank you so much. Genuinely. Brother, I don't know what to say now. Like, I'm my friend Daniel just said he's sent me a gift for my GoPro fund. That genuinely means a lot. Thank you so much. F for the heat gun. It's still live-ish. It just turns off randomly. Okay, you'll be using it. It'll just go. Bleh. You'll have to hit it and knock it and move the cable, and then it'll start up again.
Yeah, so mine started doing that and then just never turned back on. Eventually.
Oh man, the switch broke in mine. Do you remember when I had to?
You had the toggle switch.
I put the thing in, taped it on. I was like, that'll do, and it was just full power on nothing. Like, oh, dude. Genuinely, Daniel, thank you so much. That's really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, when it comes to tools dying, this is the second glue gun I've had, and as you can see, it's still it still works. It turns on. It's got an LED. It still turns on. It works. It's fine.
I believe the term is well loved.
Well loved, but I will tell you this: it's always handy to keep a backup. Because I've learned... I've learned. This glue gun, by the way, this isn't new. This is actually... it is new, but I bought it secondhand from somebody. Somebody had bought it, had it, and then sold it to me, and I realized that it's pretty much... It's the same glue gun. So the reason I like these so much is because they're small, and they don't have rubber tips on them, so you can use that bit to smooth the glue over.
See, but after the first Rhinemax stilt collapsing incident where the very kind people of Artifakes with their massive industrial glue gun.
It was you, me, Artifakes.
Yeah.
David Roth.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember with the duct tape and we built the wall and we filled it almost level with hot glue?
So my platforms were no longer just wood; they were solid hot glue.
That was brilliant.
But I actually made it into the cosplay competition because of it. So
we weren't going to let you not do that. But I think, if I'm right in saying, you walked onto that stage with a completely bodged foot. We completely repaired that. You walked on, did your thing, came off, and
Yep.
then it broke.
Yep.
Literally, you couldn't plan it. You couldn't plan it better. He came out on stage, walked down to the middle of the stage, did his cool thing, was like, hell yeah, I'm Baymax, this is so cool. Walked off stage, and as soon as he got off stage, boom, it broke again. It was like, ah!
Which is why I hobbled back on when they said everyone back out for
Oh yeah, they were like, everyone back on for the photo, and instead of not going on, this legend hobbles back on with not his broken foot, the suit's broken foot, but still hobbled his way back on and got the photo. Legendary. But that glue gun though, you know that one I just showed you? I've had
Yep.
that for 2.5 years now. This glue gun's really lasting. This piece of crap, this still thing. I say piece of crap, it's the best glue gun. Second one I've had, but I've had that one for ages, and it just sits there until this one dies. But the reason I have to is because when this dies, I need a glue gun, so it's there.
Yeah.
So you know, even though I use contact cement mostly now, thanks to Dave Damon yelling at me for I think about 2 years. So glue gun buddies, yeah, glue gun buddies.
I still use a hot glue gun.
Oh yeah, I use
Because
that for the inside of props. Like,
Yeah, on the inside of actually, I can show you.
oh, here we go. Yes, this is it.
So this is the face mark, and on the inside, there's tons of hot glue,
Look at that.
just holding the seams.
But exactly, that's what I do in the seams and the
People are only
hammer and
gonna
everything.
But people are going to see this part. They're not going to be looking at the inside of it.
Exactly.
Only I have to kind of exist with that.
That's awesome. I love that. Contact glue for me. I haven't had a glue gun fail to. I've had a glue gun fail too much. It depends what kind of glue you use. I use high temp stuff. It takes forever to melt. Like it takes so long to melt. I had a low temp glue gun for a while, but you could put it on a piece of foam, slap the foam together, leave it for a day, and it would just pop apart, and it would pop perfectly. And it was
There's
so
a guy
bad.
in the States. What was his name? Cullen Cosplay. He did like a Guyver. He builds everything in his kitchen with his kids, so he used low temp glue. But some of his costumes are the most amazing, and he says he's never had an issue with it. I know someone else who builds Space Marines with hot glue, and he's never had a problem.
David Roth, an absolute legend.
It's what you have at the time.
Exactly.
Baymax, the original Baymax, that's hot glue. That's not contact adhesive.
Same here. I'm Warrior. All hot glue. The whole thing's hot glue.
But Rhinemax was contact adhesive, and when I fell the first time, I only had one or two like 2-inch popped seams. That was it.
Wow. And you can literally just contact cement those back together. Done
Yeah.
and dusted.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
and that was pretty much our repairs on the day, apart from the MDF stilt. Don't build stilts out of MDF, kids.
Yeah, don't build stills out of MDF, and don't build them out of solid hardwood either. Like, genuinely, the one part of my body that I'm proud to be like, yeah, this is the best part of my body, and that's my calf muscles. Because thanks to walking around for about a whole year almost of conventions, walking around with solid wooden platforms in my Iron Warrior, my legs are now like concrete, as solid as anything. And like when I turn my leg and lift my toes a bit, the muscle just goes like that, and it's just, you can see it's a chunk of muscle. It's the best. And now I've got foam like blocks, those solid EVA foam blocks. The
Mr. Wellies inside.
High density stuff with my wellies inside. I walk around. I swear I could run, but I'm not gonna. I'm just not going to. Every time I'm in it, I'm like, I should run. I should really shit up Harry for a second and just start running. Oh no! Because if I fell, he would just come at me. He wouldn't even come and help. He'd just stand next to me and go, "That's your fault for running." And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. Can you help me up now?" Oh, do you know what? This is great. I've missed you. I know I do Q&A sessions and stuff, but I can assure you all that this is more of a I've missed this, man. Like
by this point, we would have seen each other maybe 3 times this year.
Think so.
So, and I was actually due to not be in cosplay at all in May. I was due to be your minion.
You were going to be my minion. Yes, you were. You were actually going to be my spotter. That is mind blowing. Can you imagine? I kind of wonder, like, if COVID hadn't have happened, this year would have been just so much different. Like I wouldn't have been
taking my time. I would have had more done on Epion. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean, thing is though, you might take your time, but your work is just it's just such nice work. It's
Well,
just
the thing is, I've had plans as well. I've had other things pop up. I've had things kind of happen just before Christmas. At the time when we were at the Sci-Fi Weekender, and I couldn't tell anyone because I was under an NDA.
oh yeah, I loved that. Where I was like, oh, so what are you working on now? And you were like, I can't tell you. And I was like, why not? You're like, I'm under an NDA. And I was like, big times over here, Mr. NDA. I love this.
So yeah, so that was I built a environmental suit for Star
so...
Citizen for their convention.
Oh, so you can say now.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
The convention's been and gone.
Oh, wow.
There are pictures of the Evo suit. My friend Ben, all the time, was modeling it.
Oh, that's awesome.
We took the suit up. It was unveiled as it's now in game for the game.
Oh, that's
it was
insane.
A part of the release. They had a big video of it walking across like a frozen tundra. It was all lovely, and then Ben stepped out on stage when they were doing a Q&A panel.
Oh, dude, congratulations.
And that was the start, and then the horrible stuff happened now, and I've now got to try and start again.
Can I just say though, is there a link to that video that we could see possibly? Because if there is,
fortunately, the video was behind closed doors.
Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame, because I was going to actually ask one of my mods to try to find it and pop it in. I know Harry and Desi are both in chat, so they could find it. But if it's behind closed doors, I guess there wouldn't be a video of it, which is a shame, really.
Well, I had the very, very unique situation of the person who designed the suit came over to me and fanboyed about what I had built using what he'd drawn. That's then insane. I had the CGI artist who sculpted it in CGI come over to me and go, I don't know how you got it as close to what I did.
Honestly. Hey, look at that. Check out chat, Daniel. There you go, buddy. There you go, man.
All
claps in chat.
I'll have to check chat later because my laptop can't handle Twitch and.
Oh, fair. Same with this computer. I've got OBS running, so there's loads of claps in chat for you right now. Everyone's clapping in chat for you right now, clapping all around. That's absolutely legendary. I know Desiree's my only mod, but you mod for me occasionally too when I need you. But you know, I like you both. You both helped me when we test stream and stuff. I had you both. You're both awesome. Don't worry.
Can I just say congratulations to Desiree on taking the title from you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching that, I literally when I posted the pictures on 40k Cosplay to do the voting, I saw the vote just like jump on hers and then mine stayed down, and I was just like. Oh well, that's her win then. But I'd like to point out, I think there was only 4 votes.
It was 4 in it.
It was 4 in it, and do you know what? The fact that there was 4 votes in it, I genuinely bow to her as like, well done. She deserved that win, honestly, because 4 votes in it. I'm not complaining with 4 votes in it. I'm really happy with that. I'm genuinely over the moon with that. So well done. Like honestly. She did such an amazing job with her orc chopper. It looked so amazing. I mean, I did something I shouldn't have done. I know I said earlier in chat I don't normally do it, but god damn, mine compared to hers was dog shit. But I will admit, mine could smash wood. I did do a video where I just broke a shit ton of wood with it. That thing's solid as fuck. Like, I feel like mine's more practical for breaking shit than it is more how cool it looks. Hers looked much better.
So I suppose the next question is, who's the next person you're going to call out for a challenge?
Well, I mean, that just happened because especially with COVID and stuff happening, it was kind of nice for us to sort of get our, to have something to do. Because at the time, I had nothing to do. Because I had no foam for my own, I only had my foam that I use for my commissions, and I can't use that foam because if a commission came in and I have no foam to do the commission with, I've lost that money. I've lost that commission then.
I learned that with the commission for Star Citizen, and that is you don't use your own stuff for them and you don't use their stuff for you.
No, exactly. The way I see it is I always buy
a slippery slope.
stuff for me, and as I've said in the previous chat, and I've chatted and stuff on stream, I've said I always keep 2 sheets of 10mm and a half sheet of 5mm at the back of my pack. And I have a divider, a piece of wood I put divider, and all the foam in front of that is mine. All the foam behind it is theirs. I have enough 2mm to go around the entire world a few times. I have too much 2mm. So 2mm doesn't count. So, oh yeah, me and Desi have a sort of an idea. We were going to do a page where I think we'll do it like in monthly segments, I think is what we were working out to do it. Obviously, we haven't smoothed this out. This is all up in the air right now. So timing and dates and stuff, I don't really know for sure, so I might get yelled at in chat. But we were going to do it in like monthly segments where, like at the beginning of a month, we'll get 2 people, we'll pre-plan it and get 2 people to build one small prop each, and do it secretly with no pictures or anything until the end of the month, where they would reveal the props and then there would be a vote to see who wins, and then they would win something. We're trying to figure out more in terms of details for that, but I think that would be really, really awesome.
I'd be up for joining that, but you can keep the prize. I don't need any prize. So I just like making stuff.
Well, I know you're working on your cosplays right now, but you said you were working on a little trophy thing for. Oh, here we go. Wait, there it is. Currently in progress. I love that. I hope you saw that. I hope you saw that, Desi. There's part of your trophy that's going to be made by the legend that is DC Theo Models, Daniel Theophani, absolute legend. I'm not gonna lie, we haven't been going through the questions. I've just been talking to you, but this is really nice. I hope everyone's. Video-wise, was it this? I'm not sure. Neither Daniel nor I can check that link. Because neither of us can open up tabs. So, yeah.
I have lots of photos of Ben in the Evo suit on my Instagram page.
There we go.
And there are making of
jumps
photos
on Instagram
as well.
And if shares the link to your Insta, everyone jump on Insta and it should be on there.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome. So this is actually something I'd be really interested to find out, because I don't think I've asked you this. But what's the most expensive cosplay you've built to date? Like ones that's. Oh, really? Is that the most expensive so far?
Epion will work out to be the most expensive cosplay I have.
That is going to be amazing.
It's going to have electric actuators, so the wings will move.
Oh, wow.
It's going to have a fully light up beam saber. All the eyes, vents and ports will light up.
Oh man, I cannot wait.
And I have to compete with someone's Mega Stomp, so I've got to make my own.
You don't have to compete, man. You don't have to compete. I just stomp around. I love that little Mega Stomp. It's just a.
You can't have a Gundam walk around without the sounds of robotic gears going. It's true. It's true. Not the dumb thing.
But I tell you what, the legend that gave me that Mega Stomp is in chat. I would like to point out he is in chat, and many people are absolutely green with envy when I tell them I've got one and I walk around with it. They're just like, I want the noises. I love it. Don't make it transform, though, from Quarion.
I'm not that flexible. I am not that flexible. I will say this now.
Absolute legend.
To be fair, so with Epion and everything, I can't not give a shout out to Nocturne's Forge, because that guy, he is a legend, and you have a problem and you talk to him, he's able to give you suggestions and hints. Plus he loves Gundams as well.
Don't even. If he was in chat right now, you know him, he's as bad as any of us. He loves Gundam. It's so nice to see someone with such a passion for what they love. He has more Gundam models than anyone I know.
He's got more than
like in the UK. I'm going to say he has more Gundam models than anyone in the UK.
I would say there is a couple of people who have more than he does.
Really? Bloody. Because he has a lot.
Well, there are groups devoted to Gunplas and that. I'm an avid fan. I'll stop there though, because I know I can talk for ages.
It's a slippery slope. It is. Yeah. It's a shame he's not in chat, but I know he'd appreciate you saying that, because I'd probably say it to him too, because honestly he's helped me out with more stuff than I.
It's not just Epion as well. He's so with my Berserk armor, he actually gave me a link. I have a zip in foam. My foam armor has a zip, working
that's
zip,
beautiful.
so I can get it on and off. Little things. He helped me with my 3D printer. I don't use it for cosplay.
Don't even. He's helped. I think he's helped many people, including myself, with 3D printers.
So,
He's like the legend when it comes to 3D printers.
so yeah. But then again, Dave Damon as well. He's a legend.
Yeah. Dave Damon.
Always helpful. Always able. Always willing to help people. Dave Roth. Yourself. You know, there's loads of people out there.
Well, I mean, I can't say I've helped you much with anything. If anything, you've helped me more than I've not really been able to tell you.
You refurbed Baymax for one.
But I mean,
and you kept me alive when I was wearing him without actually knowing me.
Yeah.
And it goes on.
Thank you, Dragonheart, for posting Nocturne's Forge links in the chat. Thank you so much. He's such a legend. He's such a nice guy. But yeah, no, I see where you're coming from with like things like that, because even myself, like I couldn't have done. I say done. It's done. It's packed. This is the Krieg las gun. It's completely packed up and ready to go. It's got like 4 cardboard layers, and it's got cardboard plugs I made for the ends and stuff. That's the las gun on the way. Without, like, for example, without Ranger of Krieg telling me, you know, certain lengths of different stuff and how things should go together, I wouldn't have been able to do that as beautifully as I've done it. Like that thing, to me, that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever created, because it's not only new, but I spent so much time on it. Like each individual piece, like I recut stuff. I wasn't happy with the piece. I literally just like remake it.
But saying that, there's also someone else who he doesn't get shout out quite as much, but he is as much a legend. That's Andy Judge Marshall.
Andy Judge Marshall, absolutely.
Hellbender Cosplay.
Honest to God, he is.
He is the life and soul.
Yeah, I think without him, Sci-Fi Weekender wouldn't be Sci-Fi Weekender for us anyway.
So you know, and he's always up for a laugh.
And I announced his cosplay. It was Nathan's cosplay, wasn't it? Well, he was wearing.
Nathan was wearing Andy's Alphonse Elric,
and I picked him as my honorable mention, and I got to announce him. I loved it, and I was stood next to you. There's a video of that.
That was exquisite. That cosplay was exquisite.
That cosplay was
down to the fact that he'd done a blood seal on the inside.
The blood seal on the inside. No one will see it unless he points it out to them. But the fact that it was there, and it's just like, the detail. Like, I love it. Like, as I've said in several videos about the lasgun and stuff, some of the detail I've put in it that no one's really gonna see.
But you know it's there.
But it's there, and that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love. So. You know, it is awesome. And I'm loving this. We've got a lot of viewers. We've got a lot of people chatting in chat. This is awesome. If you guys have any questions, please put them through. Absolutely.
Yeah, throw them out.
Daniel's an absolute legend. I will read them out to him, or if I miss them, I'm sure my mod will at me and repeat the question. So, for you personally, what's your favourite part of cosplay?
My favourite part of cosplay is actually meeting new people and old friends.
Yeah.
I
actually agree there.
The dressing, the being in costume is great. But it's the sitting down afterwards, having a drink, going out for a meal.
Oh yeah, when we went out for a meal in the restaurant at Sci-Fi Weekender, that last meal, when we grabbed tables and shoved them all together. Oh, it's so nice.
But nice. That's the side of it that, for me, that makes it all worth it. You know.
It's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's the camaraderie. Yes. I love it. It's camaraderie. So. I'm thinking this is going to be a really stupid question if I'm anything, but what's your favourite convention?
Sci-Fi Weekender.
It's Sci-Fi Weekender. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's I was wondering, like, should I ask this? Yeah, I might as well ask him just so he can confirm, like, it's Sci-Fi Weekender.
It was my first ever convention. It is the one convention I have done every year since.
How many have you done now?
So my first Sci-Fi Weekender would be Sci-Fi Weekender 6.
You've done one more than me then. I've done 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
No, I've done 8, 9, and 10. Sorry, you've done 7, 8, 9, 10. I've done 8, 9, and 10.
But it was my introduction to cosplay. And actually, it was, so there was a group. They're no longer together as cosplayers, Parlay Productions. They did loads of cosplays.
I don't think I've ever heard of them, sadly.
They were really good. They had a rinse win that was amazing. They had Mass Effect cosplayers. They were a bunch of friends, and basically gave me confidence to keep going from my first cosplay.
Good, because like I don't think Sci-Fi can be the same without you, if I'm honest. Like, I know I wouldn't be. We have a question, not Warhammer related. By the way, no, questions don't have to be Warhammer related in any way, shape, or form. Although I do know someone is planning a Warhammer cosplay at some point. Not Warhammer cosplay, but what are the rules on weapons? Currently in the process of making a 6'5" battle axe and a replica blunderbuss, both metal. You know what I'm like. Yeah, I know what you're like, Harry. What would you say? I think if they're made of metal, but they don't fire, they're okay.
A blunderbuss that's made of metal, so long as it's got no firing mechanism and you don't mind security guards handling it, it's a risk. With the current climate and firearms, they don't like taking chances. If you can put some sort of like an orange stop up. So normally the way you'd have it, you'd have the barrel of the gun, and at the end of it you'd have like an orange stopper, or it's painted orange.
Yeah.
That's basically to let the police know it's not a non-firing prop if they see it.
Yeah. Because we've all heard that story from MCM or London.
Yeah.
Where the I've forgotten the chap's name, but he was dressed as Deadpool, I think.
Yes.
And he had 2 pistols, and neither was tipped, and someone saw him and called the police on him, and I believe he got arrested.
He was, yes.
Yeah.
He was never charged.
No, he wasn't charged, but he did get arrested.
Yes. And it's. I mean, I've only ever used Nerf guns. If I have to use a gun, unless it's hang on, do I have it behind me?
But they also don't allow. Well, they allow Nerf guns, but they also want to make sure that you don't have any.
1 second.
Yeah, no worries. In answer to Harry, I know Harry. I know you've got a firearms license, but it's mostly the conventions themselves. They're really. They worry a lot about firearms and stuff. They have been focusing more recently, I've seen, with more bag checks than anything. But when I went to MCM, I was at MCM walking through the queue in my full Iron Warrior suit. I had my chainsword and my bolt pistol. And when we got to the guy, he just took one look at me and was like, okay, and then let me through. But he didn't check my weapons. But my chainsword at the time was rubber latex. So that would have been fine. So if you can sort of paint your blunderbuss with an orange tip and your axe, make it out of foam if you can, like the head out of foam or something, that would work really well.
Yeah,
but I mean, let's have a look at that weapon you just showed there. That is
my small sniper rifle. So this is
a small sniper rifle. That is gorgeous.
It was built so it could come apart.
It comes apart. That's so nice. Wow. See, I don't think of that. I need to think more of that. My stuff doesn't come apart. Oh, look at that.
That was foam stuck to the disc sanding part of a belt sander and carved.
That's brilliant. Oh, I love that. That is, and also it looked really lightweight. That looks super lightweight.
It's deceptive.
Is it?
Carry it around for a day and it's quite heavy.
I know what you mean.
But with the axe, I would say try and, if you can, make it out of foam, or at least make the head out of foam. They tend to like that better. Yeah. Metal. Actually, thinking about it, I do remember someone saying that they confiscated metal-tipped lightsabers at MCM and stuff.
They did, but obviously they did give them back at the end of the
convention. They give them back at the end. They give them a ticket to collect,
the metal-tipped lightsabers, they were like, nope, you can't have them. They just got rid of them.
And they've stopped. There was a company who used to sell metal display swords at MCM, and they revoked their sales thing.
Who were they called? They were at every Showmasters event, weren't they? London.
They were awesome, and the replica swords were amazing, but they were never supposed to be like taken out and wielded in an event.
No, so what they would do is they'd put them in those boxes, didn't they?
Yes.
And they had that orange tape that had "Do Not Open."
Yeah.
All over it, so you could carry it around, but you weren't allowed to open it. But they caught that one guy who did open his,
Yeah,
to
and
take it out.
basically, I believe they've not been able to go back to MCM. I think they
That's a
actually.
shame. See, that's a good business as well, but because of stupid people, they've had to. Ah, it's
Yeah,
so frustrating in the end.
I think thinking on it logically, metal may not be the way to go. I do
I
apologize,
I would
but
personally say stick to foam. I mean, you can paint foam to look like metal. I don't know how like real metal this looks, but it's my chainsaw, and it's
the problem.
completely made of foam. Like it's.
So the thing I'm guessing is the person who's asked the question is probably more comfortable working in metal than in foam.
I'm not sure. I know Harry, and I don't know. Do you have? I know you don't own like, or did you own a smithing place? Like not own a smithing place, but like, do you know of a place you could go to do blacksmithing and actually make it out of metal? Because I know he's actually in the army.
Ah,
He's
okay.
actually in the army, but
But again, it's a case of familiarity. If he's more familiar with working in metal and
then go
that's
for
what
metal.
he's going to go for.
Yeah,
The problem you'll have is that event organizers won't see it that way, and they'll just see health and safety first and foremost, which is kind of a horrible thing when you think about the amount of effort that's going to go into making a blunderbuss and an axe,
it's going to be a lot of work.
and it's going to look amazing when it's done. So,
But the axe is going to be real. Like if you make a metal-headed axe, that's a real axe. That would be like carrying a real axe
sword.
into a convention. It's like you can the security guard, the security people who do the check stuff would have a fucking field day with that. They'd shit
I
themselves.
don't think it would get past the security guard. I think it would be a case of they would confiscate it and return it at the end of the event.
Probably they would probably just look at you really really funnily and just be like, "Are you crazy?" Oh, I tell you what. We have Pinkthorn. I think what they did is you couldn't collect your purchase at the con. You had to pick it up at the end on the way out. They'd cut your wristband off when you did, so you couldn't bring it back in.
Again, that's an acceptable way to do
That
it.
is a
And
good way of doing it. Yeah.
the guys were lovely guys. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
talked to them.
great
I
place.
think I may have ordered a couple of daggers and things at some point online from them, but yeah,
I know. I spoke to them a bunch of times and had a look at some knives they were selling, but I didn't actually buy anything because at the time I just didn't need a knife. So we've done a lot of positives. This is the best. We've done all the positives. I have one sort of not negative question, but I have one question which sort of shines some light on the sort of negative side of things. But what is your least favorite part of cosplay?
the comment section.
The comment section. Yeah, amen. I know that.
So,
The keyboard warriors, like,
well, personally, I mean, I talked to you about it. I was looking to show a friend a picture and went on Google, typed in Baymax Reinhardt, and found an entire Reddit channel devoted to my cosplay. To which, at first, it was positive, lots of positive comments, and then you read the negative ones, and they seem to dig in there with barbs.
they stick out more. They stick out like a sore thumb. They stick out more than.
So, and they stuck with me, and they knocked my confidence quite a bit. At the time, I think I was messaging you and said I was contemplating just selling everything and not doing cosplay anymore. And I can't believe I thought like that at the time.
I've done the same. I mean, ask Harry. I was actually talking to Harry at the time when I was online, and I was searching for Iron Warrior pictures, and I saw a picture of myself, but it wasn't on a website or Twitter or Facebook or anything that I posted it to. So I clicked on it, and it was some pictures of me from MCM, those really nice, professionally taken ones. And it was on a Russian website, so I clicked like Google to translate it for me, and it translated the whole page. And I think there were like 4 comments that were good, and like another 90 that were just ripping the shit into it. And I was just like, "Whoa!" It was hard. It was hard. It properly knocked me for 6 seeing those comments. But I carry on. I modify. I adapt. Overcome. So we have 2 questions for you here. One question from
Okay.
Caxcore Coon. We got a question that I always ask: good or evil, and why? So sort of, I'd say that it's more like character-wise. Good or evil? Would you go for a good character or an evil character? So far, I think you've gone mostly good.
So far, mostly good,
Yeah.
but I had more fun playing Guts as Berserk, and he's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say it's the anti-hero that I've enjoyed more.
The anti-hero is good stuff. I'm gonna have
And
to
then
go
if
back to
you ask
six
if you ask my
with this
friends
phone
when I
back.
do role play and stuff, I just love playing murder hobos.
Oh yes, yes. I remember we chatted about that one time. That was
Yeah.
another question from Hot Rod Welder. We've got DC Theo. What's a cosplay dream for you? What is like the one you would do if budget and time was no issue?
I'm currently doing him. That's Epion.
Yeah, that's Epion. I thought as much
Um.
because I remember having this discussion with you because you said you wanted to do a Space Marine, but you said Epion was the priority for you.
So yeah, I started Epion, and I don't think I quite understood just how much detail I wanted to put into this particular costume. Um, I would say I like to challenge myself, so I will always try to better what I have previously made. I don't normally care what other people have made. I don't go with the trend, with the exception of Reinhardt. But it's I like my big builds, so it'd be a big mech. And
Oh yeah.
thinking about it actually, and after watching a particular Transformers on Netflix today, I think my new no budget would be an Ultra Magnus cosplay.
Oh, yeah, and you would do that well, though. God, you would do that well.
The
Oh,
scale, the size, the
yeah.
detail.
Oh, you would be in your element. If money was no option, you'd be there. Just
Oh yeah,
foam and blades and oh man, you would just God. I could imagine you doing that. That would be amazing. A friend of mine, Artemis Blackfire, just said I got weapons checked and said you wouldn't part a woman with her walking stick because she has a condition where she needs a walking stick. But what she does is when she dresses up with her wings and everything from Warhammer 40k as there you go. I'm blanking for the first time. I'm blanking on. She'll tell me in chat and I'll remember it straight away. But she has giant wings and everything. But she has to walk with a walking stick. But what she's done is she's made the staff, which is part of the cosplay, but it's her walking stick, so that
now
she can
that's
use that.
clever.
That's really clever. But she gets weapon checked, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to take it off you." And she's like, "It's my walking stick," and they're like,
So
"Oh, I'm so sorry." Like it's
ironically, Briarios. I have two like machine guns at the hips and the big sniper rifle. I never got weapon checked with that.
Saint Artemis. Thank you, Saint Artemis. There you go.
But the
Oh,
Dragon Slayer, I got stopped by every security guard, and one of them stopped me, took the sword, handed me his phone, and said, "Can you take a picture?"
what a legend! What a legend!
So
I've had two police officers walk up to me in the middle of Cardiff. I was walking up the main street of Cardiff with my proton pack, blasting the Ghostbusters theme, and two police officers came up, and I thought I was going to get told to turn it down because I was a noise nuisance. But they were like, "Can we get a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." I never got
so
that picture. I sent them my Twitter and everything. I was like, "Could you send that to me?" He's like, "Yeah, absolutely," and never sent it to me. I was like,
so that year that we met at London Film and Comic Con
"Yeah."
was the last year I wore my Destiny Hunter
It was. It was the last year you were your Destiny Hunter.
because I parked 3 stops away and decided in full cosplay to ride on the underground.
Yes, you did. I remember this story so well, and I still can't believe to this day that you did that. Honest to God, like,
So here's the thing that not a lot of people know. I actually tried to get Baymax on the underground and was refused at the turnstiles.
yep, he was absolutely straight out refused, and I was just so hurt by that because I wanted to see that happen.
Imagine the fun of trying to film Baymax trying to get on an underground train.
It's like when you film me and other Space Marines try to get into lifts. It's the funniest thing you'll ever see. We look when we're walking down a corridor. It's like, yeah, you look really cool, and then all of a sudden you try to get into a lift.
Try and
it's like,
squeeze into a lift.
and we're doing the Baymax. I like to call it the Baymax side shuffle. You just side shuffle in like, it's so good. When I saw this man in his Baymax cosplay during the cosplay competition, that was probably one of the best moments ever. And I knew straight away. I was like, I need to be friends with this man. He's an absolute legend. He's an absolute legend. Something I wanted to ask you. This isn't one of the questions I've got here, but something I wanted to ask you. There's after Epion, there was something you were going to build, wasn't there? It was about like yay big, and it's almost shaped like something you'd put nails into a wall with, and it's from Warhammer.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like and it's a really cool. It belongs to a Primarch. What's the Primarch called?
Yes,
Perturabo.
yeah.
Yes,
I
Perturabo. Yeah.
have been asked to build a hammer for someone,
Yeah, because
and here it.
can you imagine? I 3D printed it for you. Here it is. I'd be like, for those of you wondering, Perturabo has a hammer called the Forge Breaker, and it is probably the most beautiful looking hammer ever. There's several different versions of it I've seen, but the one I like the most is the one on the actual Perturabo model, and that's the big two-handed hammer he's got. When I completed Baymax for Daniel, our plan was to sell Baymax, and then Dan would pay me for the pay me for the work that I did, and then so on and so on. But sadly, Baymax is still to this day on eBay and unsold, and I think it's been 2 years. I think it's been about 2 years.
I think he's actually been taken down by eBay.
Oh, no way! I haven't checked my eBay. I need to check it and see if he's still up there. We bought him down and down and down, and no one. And then people were still trying to get him cheaper. And I was like, wow. So in the end, Dan suggested, he was like, look, I could build you something if you like. And I'm like, no, Dan, don't, because your work is amazing and I wouldn't know what to pick. And I had a long sit down about it, and then when it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was like, Perturabo's hammer, that'd be so cool. So one day when I have like a good, I'd say like maybe 4 days or something, or 5 days, I'll have to come down and just bring my foam and just be like, Dan.
No, you're always welcome.
Foam. Let's do this. Let's build a thing. There is a long message here. Oh, it's from Dragonheart. I planned on taking my Eviscerator to a convention where it wouldn't have passed the weapons check. So I took the smaller chainsword for the first day and walked up to the security guard and started talking all the cute stuff. I explained to them my props have names, and this one was Emily, and she liked to go walkies, so she needed to get approved when he laughed so hard that he just gave me the approval for all my weapons. That's brilliant. See, just bat your eyelids. But sadly, you see, Dragonheart, Daniel and I can't do that. If Dan and I went up to a security guard and was like, hey, sugar, and like batted our eyelids, he would just look at us and go, yeah, what, you weirdo? I don't think it would go as well. Hot Rod Welder in Chicago, we have a Chicago Transit Authority. It's trains around town, the CTA, and all kinds of it. During the convention season, so many cosplayers get on it with all their gear and their luggage. Sorry, I was going to read that as luggage. Luggage. The photo of normies gawking at customers are hilarious. Yeah, it probably would be. Because, I mean, I've been walking down Cardiff, just down a regular pavement, and a bus stopped at a traffic lights, and the doors opened while I was walking along. I didn't have anything turned on. I was walking to the con from my car, and the bus driver said, hey, where are you going? I said, oh, I'm going down there. He goes, oh, I'm going that way, jump on. So I jumped on, he closed the doors, and I was like, but I can't, I'm not paying. And he was just like, no, it's fine. We drove off, and he was chatting to me about where I'm going and stuff, and I had my proton pack. Talking to him, I then look up the bus, and it's just full, it's Cardiff, and it's full of people. And kids, and they're all looking at me, and I just see phones, just like, there's a Ghostbuster on the bus. And the guy stopped me, he's like, is this where you want? I'm like, yeah. And he pulled over, stopped, and I got off, and I was like, you're a legend, thank you for that. And he was like, brilliant, and then shouts, who are you going to call? And I went, Ghostbusters, and he drove off, and I was like, that was the most random interaction I've ever had. But I've never done the underground in a cosplay. I've done the underground twice, and I'm terrified of London. I hate London. It's not my...
On the way to the convention was not a problem. On the way home... I came away with just the helmet and the boots because the rest of it had been ripped and pulled off of me. So all my foam, armor, and shoulder pads and everything was just destroyed. So wasn't too happy, but I managed to keep the helmet. which actually went to a fan at the first time I guested at Sci-Fi
Yes, it
Weekender.
did. You are an absolute legend. In fact, you made his day. You made his day. Do you want to tell that story to?
No, you can tell it. You tell it better than
No,
me.
God, no, no. Go on, go on. You're my guest. You're my guest.
Well, we were displaying props, and in my infinite wisdom, I brought everything I had, which was the helmet from my first cosplay, the
Absolute
whole of
legend.
Baymax on his tube stand.
Oh yeah, that stand is awesome. It worked
Um,
though.
it did, but I had all these props, and a young lad's mother came up to us and basically said, "Are you selling these? Because my son's really interested in this helmet." And people were saying, "Well, it's not really ours to sell. We shouldn't really be." And I think it was you that came and found me and basically went, "There's this lad and his mum's wants to try and buy the helmet. Would you be willing to sell it?" And I just went, "Yeah, sure."
I remember you came up. It was David Rotham. You were there, and
Yeah.
you chatted to the mum. And yeah, you're an absolute lad for that. That was absolutely awesome when you did it. You properly. He wore that for the rest of the day. I hope you understand that. He wore that for the whole day. It's such an awesome thing to do.
That's what we're there for at the end of the day, to make people's day and have fun ourselves.
Oh,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
that doesn't bother me. That's you know.
I like that. We're getting girls have their ways, and we also have. I had fake blood all over my face, and I was wearing armor. The cute part didn't work, but the combination was hilarious. I love that. Casual props. Well, I bought Maeve, I think that's how you pronounce that, to London last year. I packed it in a super tight into a big black storage box full of bubble wrap and everything. At the weapons check, the dude opened it, gave me a look. Yeah, nah, I'm not doing that, and let me through. I was pretty sad because I worked hard at making everything con safe, and he didn't even check. Yeah, I'm
So
not gonna
can I
lie.
just say, casual cosplay? He is a 3D printing legend.
Yes, he is. I've
Him
seen
and
his
his other
work.
half, we met at MCM Birmingham. Nothing but praise. He 3D printed at the time, I believe it was a Zenyatta helmet
I've seen
from.
that. I've seen that.
But he's also got the World of Warcraft Maven armor that he made, that they've made, and it looks amazing. So no word of a lie. If you can give him a follow, he's awesome.
Yeah, Casual Props, you're more than welcome. If you want to go grab your link, Casual Props, and throw it into the chat, I'm sure my mod will be happy to approve that for you. Jump it in. You're more than welcome to throw your link in. Absolutely, because I love Casual Props as well. I think I've been following you on Twitter for a bit now. Sorry, Instagram. Sorry, for a bit now, which is awesome. But right, there's a question I have on this clipboard that's highlighted in black. I did it with a Sharpie and a pencil. I've just gone over it because it's quite an important question, and I always like to take it. It's more of a serious sort of question for me
Okay.
personally because it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear the answers that people give. Honestly, I've had so many genuine, like, to heart answers, and I've had some funny ones too. But what is cosplay to you? Like, what is cosplay to you as a whole? I know
As a
you said
whole,
like seeing friends and stuff is like why you
it's
like it, but what
for
is
me.
cosplay to you?
For me, it's an escape. It's a break from the norm. So, if you don't know, I've been a stay-at-home dad. My wife has gone to work, and I've had to look after my little daughter, who is now 9, and my son, who's now 5. And just they've now both at school. So I've been doing the whole props and trying to do commissions and things during the day while they're at school. But making cosplay, making things, it was a break from the norm, and it was a release of just enjoyment for me. So it probably saved my mental health, if I'm honest, 100%. My wife says if I've not, she can tell when I haven't been in the shed and making something because I'm not happy.
Yeah. I've actually spoken to you. I think one time. You weren't so much down as you were more. You'd hit a sort of a brick wall if something. You were having trouble building something, and I've forgotten what it was. It was either you had trouble building something, or you didn't have the go to build at all.
I'd lost the. Actually, it was halfway through doing Epion,
Oh,
and
there you go. There you go.
I'd basically just lost any enthusiasm for it all, and I was really down on it. And yeah, but then I did the smart thing and I spoke to yourself, I spoke to Dave Roth, I spoke to Dave Damon, I spoke to a couple of my other friends.
I remember talking about
And
you. We had a proper heart to heart. It was
yeah,
yeah. It was it was nice to get you out of that hole because like I've been in it myself. I've left this. I come down to this workshop every day, and I try and do something. I try to fix something, build something, add something, paint something, modify something. You know, that kind of thing. And it's why I come down here to stream. I could, as you know, as we've spoken in the past to Dragonheart and Harry and other people and stuff, like I could stream up in my room. I've got a way better computer up there. I've got like a monster of a machine up there. I could stream up there, but I feel the workshop is where I do things, and this is why I wanted to set up my stream down here, is so that I could stream from here and also talk to people where I work, exactly like you're doing here. And I think that's the it's really nice to do. So the time I decided, I just didn't have the go for it, and I left the workshop, things gathered dust. And it only got really bad when my old man asked me. He was like, "I haven't seen you down the workshop for a while. What's wrong?" That killed me. So I kind of told him, and I wasn't in a great place. But again, thanks to yourself, Dave Damon, Dave Roth, Harry, Desi. I could names. I could link you. I could list off names. I prattle off names for ages. Thanks to people just coming at me. It's when I'd posted that status on Facebook, and I don't normally post things like that on on Facebook. Just messages and comments and messages and comments and words of support and stuff, and that just picked me back up. That just got me out of the hole, and just it was a shit time, but it's much better now. So I'm glad. I appreciate your honesty. I really appreciate your honesty. That was really nice. That's why I asked that question, and I always try to save that for like halfway through or the middle, sort of the middle ground. But I love that. But I would like to know, you, Dan, how do you view yourself as a cosplayer?
sorry.
That's why that question is immediately after that question.
Well, so if you'd asked me that question about 6 months ago, I would have probably said like low ranking cosplayer.
No. Not at all.
Fortunately, I have had the experience now of a professional commission from a company. That boosted my self-esteem no end.
Oh God, yeah, it must have. Like,
I still wouldn't say I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm good.
No.
I would just say I'm a cosplayer and it's my hobby.
No, you're right, Dan. You're not good. You're not good at all. You're absolutely fucking amazing. There's a difference between good and absolutely beyond amazing. Your helmet alone would take me at least 2 weeks, even that, and I don't think it would come out that well, because like it's hard to get around to. But the fact you're saying you're just a good cosplayer, no, you're fucking amazing. The work that you've done, people need to check. Again, those of you who haven't checked his Instagram, have a look at his Instagram. It's just, mate, your work is beyond amazing. Like if I could get to at least a quarter of the sort of level that you do to your cosplays, I'd be happy. Like that would be me happy. But fuck, the work you do is just outstanding. It's absolutely brilliant. But it's nice to know that at least you're honest to yourself. But you need to know that people see you as a much higher ranking cosplayer. There's not really a rank, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, compared to some people I know, you're like the top. Like, you know what I mean.
I wouldn't. I'd never say I'm the top of. For a fact, know that there are people who can do jobs a damn sight better than I can, and I can name Dave Damon easily as one of those.
He has done some amazing work. Well, actually, yeah. I say he's done some amazing work. I have some of his work here that I'm currently repairing and modifying and fixing up because it.
But then you've got the likes of Clockwork Dandy Noodle.
Yeah.
Rebecca Press,
exactly.
So, no word of a lie, I had the pleasure of actually being her minder at MCM when she went for the Euro cosplays with her Red Death from Phantom of the Opera.
It was just the pictures from that convention.
Yep.
I wish I could just link them in chat immediately, but oh, man alive.
So here's a nice fact that not a lot of people know. That entire costume, fabric-wise, is all hand sewn. It's not machine sewn.
Yeah.
So every ruffle, every bow,
Insane.
and then she did Isabella von
I
vampire count from
Yeah,
Warhammer.
from Warhammer, but I can't remember her name. I can't
Yeah,
remember her name. And I should know. I love Warhammer, but I can't remember
I
everyone's name.
should state for the stream, I'm not the biggest Warhammer fan. I have an Eldar army, and that's about it.
Hey, Eldar are great. It's better than Tau. So,
Is Mike in the chat? Is he?
we have. Let's see. Yeah, imposter syndrome is a bit of a bugger for me too. Oh, absolutely. He'll grow out. Oh, apparently I've got. I'll grow out of. Okay, hold on. We love your encourager. We all know the heresy stuff is just a phase. Imposter syndrome, man. Yeah, imposter syndrome is grim. I hate imposter syndrome. I love Iron Warrior cosplay. I shoot a message about questions I had with parts of the Space Marine build. The first two questions were like 2-word answers. The third question goes, "Oh, you have time for a phone call? 90 minutes." Yeah, I'll tell you why the messages were short at the beginning is because when you had messaged me, I was literally down in the workshop, busy working on stuff, and I don't really stop when I'm in the flow. I'm like, yeah, carry on. It was really hard, but as soon as I have time, I'm happy to get back to people. And yeah, we had like a 90-minute call later, and it was just links and pictures of me explaining how stuff goes together. I think if I'm right, we were talking about shoulders the last time, like shoulder rotation and stuff last time we spoke, and it was like 1 a.m. So it was brilliant. It was awesome. I was blown away, dude. Happy to help, genuinely. If you need anything, let me know. Isabel von Karstein, I think Harry's put in the chat.
Yeah,
Karstein, probably Karstein.
but she's also, I recently, from chatting with her, she did Lord of Change cosplay as well.
That I didn't know.
So
I didn't know.
So yeah, so it's, I didn't realize it at the time, but she's a big Warhammer fan herself as well.
Oh wow!
So, and I had the fortune of actually being her minder, making sure she got to her competition on time, and yeah, and that was actually through Nocturne's Forge as well. So, and I got to do my first Manchester MCM.
He gets people into random convention stuff. I love it. It's the funniest thing. And then we got talking about straps across the taint. Oh yeah, we had to. Yeah, we were myself and Hot Rod Welder. We were chatting about. It started off talking about the shoulders and how I did the inside of the suit and how I did the mounts for the shoulders and how the rotation works and stuff. And then it got to how the straps across your taint work because. Mine originally was just 10mm foam and it snapped several times, so I layered it and it's now like 30mm of pure taint. Or the gooch, as some people call it. People got the gooch. The bit between the trousers, like to hold both sections together. It's literally like I had to reinforce mine after it broke several times. The sun has come into my workshop, so I have to put a piece of foam between my two screens so I can see the chat. I'm going to have to sort something out with that window, get some blinds for it or something. There we go. Right. So, so as a starter, then, what started it all? Like, I know you said who started it all, but like, what made you go full on? Let's just build big cosplays and just go to town. Because I think your smallest one is your Berserk.
So yeah, Berserk, Brierios, and my Destiny Hunter are me size.
Yeah.
And then Baymax is me but wider.
I love Baymax. So much room inside Baymax with the 4 computer fans just blowing air onto you all the time. It's the best. I still have your harness. Make sure you tell me. I need to bring next time I come up, or I'll post it off to you. I need to give you your harness.
So, So, as a group of friends, we decided that we would, as a first cosplay, why not? We all decided we were going to go as Team Fortress 2 Red Team. And awesome. There wasn't a lot of work in that. That was clothes, and I decided if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make it. So I decided I was going to do the heavy.
Yes, my favorite. Heavy's my favorite. I would either do the heavy or the doctor, or the medic. Even I would either do one or the other. I just like.
So I'm quite synonymous with destroying things in my house or taking things apart.
Before you even carry on, don't you dare, before you even utter another word, you need to tell these nice people what you did. You know what I'm talking about with the brake cables? You tell chat before you even think about carrying on about breaking stuff in your house for your cosplays. Tell the chat. You're going to
I
love
can
this.
neither confirm nor deny any of these allegations are true.
Do you have to have a lawyer present by any chance?
To be fair, I need to check that my little girl isn't actually near the shed and can hear it.
Oh, mate.
So,
This is the funniest
okay.
thing.
I was low on funds when I was building Rhinemax, and his hands they move. So the big fingers are all pulled. You pull cables. After a few drinks, after one convention, I let slip to a friend that I may have borrowed on a non-return basis
Borrowed.
the brake cables of my daughter's at the time bike so that I could make the fingers move on my costume.
So you heard it here from the man himself that he borrowed
On a non-return basis.
On a non-return basis, his daughter's bike brake cables so that he could make the fingers of his cosplay move. His daughter's bike brake cables, which I'd like to point out that when we found out about this, we made you tell everyone we made you tell everyone in a cosplay panel that we were doing in the smaller room that you told everyone that you broke your daughter's brake cables up so that you could use them inside your cosplay. And honestly, can I just say that is the single funniest story I have heard in such a long time. When you told me that...
No children were hurt in the making of this cosplay.
Oh yeah, no one's been hurt. It's not like, it's not like she's actually used the bike since, but genuinely, it's so funny. It's just the funniest thing. I love this. The chat's just saying ... stare. That's a good idea though, but like Casual Props said that's a good idea though. But I just love Pinkthorn's just like stare. I love that. But yeah, you're synonymous for breaking things around your house in order to make cosplay.
So I started building the Heavy's minigun, only I wanted it to work and spin. So I used a drill as part of it. And managed to destroy at the time the dining room table, one chair, and destroyed the minigun, and then decided to go buy foam floor mats and make myself a Destiny Hunter costume instead.
Yeah, that when you told me that story at the beginning, and I asked you like, hold on, can you just because there's so much you need to understand in that story. He broke the dining room table, one of the dining room chairs, and the minigun he was working on, and then just went, nah, I'm going to go get foam and build a Destiny Hunter. Honestly, it's the best. It's like, could have taken the bell as well to warn people that you were walking.
Oh. That would have been useful when I fell over.
Man alive. But I tell you what, right? Since you're okay with talking about you falling over, the first time I witnessed you falling over was Sci-Fi Weekender, and it was when we had to repair your foot. It was in Baymax, if I'm right.
No, that was Rhinemax.
That was Rhinemax. Sorry, that was Rhinemax the first time. Sorry. We managed to get that repaired, obviously, at the time. But
yes,
when you did go, this is what Sci-Fi Weekender is, right? At any other con, and I can say this wholeheartedly. I think you would agree with me as well. At any other con, you would have people taking pictures or filming if somebody in a big cosplay had fallen over. It would happen. There's people there who would probably take their phones out and film and record it, because that's what some people and some conventions are like. Not specifically like any one con, but some other conventions. Again, I'm not brandishing every con with the same brush. But when you did fall over at Sci-Fi Weekender, there is not a single bit of photographic or video evidence because no one took their phone out. What happened instead was Dan fell over, Trev was there, and everyone ran over to pick Dan up in his cosplay. No one took their phone out. Not a single person.
I was actually quite shocked because I think it was a matter of minutes. I think it's the quickest I've ever been taken out of my cosplay.
Yeah, people were just taking parts off you, but they weren't ripping them off you. They were just
No,
actually unclipping, and
yeah,
Trev was telling people, and it was.
So I wanted to just take every piece of that cosplay at that moment to my car, load the car, and drive home from Wales, from Fwelin, and just go home because that was it.
And that was a long
And
ass drive from Havana all the way to where you live. That's like what, 6-7 hours,
yeah,
if not more, because you're at the very top of Wales at that
but
time.
for me, that was it. I'd broken the cosplay as far as I was concerned. And then I turned to Trev and I said, "Well, where is it all?" And he just pointed to the building, and basically everyone had taken it in and taken it to Artifake's stand
Yep.
at the time. And no word of a lie, Nick was a true legend because he literally just said which bits are broken, which bits aren't. We went through it all. As bits were that he said broke, right, well, that's a small job. And then DeFrig then grabbed a piece and went, "I can fix that," and went off and got his trusty mini glue gun.
My cosplay toolbox back then was that was my cosplay toolbox back in the day. Now it's my bits box for my electronics. I'll have to show you. You keep telling everyone, and I'll go get my current toolbox. You keep carrying on.
So, and then the stilt was repaired, and yeah. But it was the case of, "Oh no, we're not letting you go home. We're not letting you just leave. You're going to get in the cosplay competition." So yeah, and then it was just literally all hands on deck. Everyone, including myself, were all repairing seams. The foot was the biggest problem, and then everyone was kind of, when it was done, was he's up. I went, and yeah, I made it through the cosplay, and I somehow miraculously won. And that was my first meeting with Mike, X22.
Oh yeah, XV22. I've had Mike on the stream. Mike is an absolute legend.
So he was in his white crisis battle suit.
He was
at
in
the time.
I think that was his XV22.
Yes, and funnily enough, we discussed stilts when we were standing next to each other with our massive costumes, waiting to take them through.
It's what you do when you're in other big cosplays. It's nice to hear what other people have done. I like the way he's done his, but I also like the way a bunch of other people I know have made their own custom stilts. But for those wondering, there you go. That's my current cosplay toolbox. This is what I have now. It has everything in it. All the drawers have stuff in it, and it's what I use now to repair cosplays or help people out. This is what I use, and this is what me and Harry take to conventions now to repair cosplays.
Well, yeah, because we've now, I don't know about yourself, but when I am asked to guest at Sci-Fi Weekender now, I actually put together a small toolkit so we can offer repairs as well.
Yeah, I bring that along. The amount of stuff when me and Ranger Creek Cosplay were at Bristol, Bristol? Yeah. I think it was Bristol. We used that to repair fellow cosplay guests' stuff that they'd broken. They were like, "Oh no, it's broken." I was like, "Bring it here, repaired, done."
So my first experience of a cosplay repair desk was at CM, and they have their big cosplay area and their repair desk, and it's manned.
Yeah.
My first experience of someone who I didn't know who was actually at a convention as a business selling stuff, but turned around and went, "I'll bring it here, we'll fix it," and fixed it with their own products for free, was Cosplay Forge at Sci-Fi Weekender.
I have Cosplay Forge stickers on my PC upstairs. I loved the Cosplay Forge. I'm so heartbroken that they are no longer, a company, because if there was a company that you would want at your convention for the sake of having them there and the fact that they're awesome people, is the Cosplay Forge, because they helped me repair stuff while I was at Sci-Fi Weekender.
Well,
do you remember when I had a tear in the side of my...
Yes, they repaired your Space Marine pants.
Yep, my Space Marine trousers. I had a small tear in my Space Marine trousers, and they repaired it for me. But you're right, casual props, that's wholesome as fuck. Absolutely, Sci-Fi Weekender is just one big family, and there was not a chance we were going to let you go home. Not a single chance in hell that we were going to let you go home. I think one of the things I told you was... I'd fucking carry you on if you won't go on. I'll carry you on if you literally, honestly, you were just like, no, it's all right, guys. Like, don't worry about it. We were like, repair this. Like, I'm not gonna lie though, the amount of damage was mostly to the actual stilt. The whole suit survived. There was like 2 popped seams,
Well,
if
so
that. Like,
as we know, Reinhardt went out in a dancing blaze of glory. Thank you, DJ Leroy.
DJ Leroy and the Dancing Space Marines with the legend that is Daniel Theophani, hammered as anything. We were so drunk.
Why is it that my cosplay got danced to destruction? You two walked away and de-kitted. I ended up with just like a fist.
I'm not gonna lie. There's footage. There's actual footage on my cosplay page of me and David Roth dancing on the dance like that, and you can just see next to us a fist just pumping in the air, and it's not a human scale fist. I can assure you, it is a massive. It's fucking amazing. But honestly, with no one that you know now, especially the amount I know you now, and the amount of like friendship that we've gained over the years, like there's not a chance in hell that if I see any of your props or any of your actual cosplay like break or damage, the fact that there's so many people there who would just jump on helping you immediately, there's no chance in hell. That's why I'm really happy. I can take my Space Marine somewhere. Even with my repair toolbox, if something breaks, there's still someone who's going to come up and be like, do you need a hand? And I'm like, I don't, because I've got my cosplay toolbox and I've got a Harry. We can repair it. But Cosplay Forge just gave me foam. I needed to repair the braces I have, the 2 clips, because it's stretched so much over the years and they've worn out. The clips end up on my shoulders and they dig into my shoulders. So I had to hot glue some foam onto them back then before I got new braces. They were just like snip. They took a brand new roll of foam and just snipped the pieces I need and gave them to me. It was just like, thanks. Like, holy shit. Like,
but then you've also got the likes of, you've got Polyprops as well, who have done a lot for the community. They did like a foam tour where they literally said, we're going to be at this location. Come down, come talk to us. We're giving away rolls of foam.
Yeah, do you know what really upset me about that? They never came to Wales, and then I chatted to I think one of the owners. He messaged me not long ago. We were chatting about some stuff, and he said, "Do you know what we had planned this year?" And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "We were going to come to Wales," and I'm like, "God damn it!" Oh, it was so annoying. I was like, are you serious? I asked him where, and it's literally like an hour, 2 hours away from me, and I was so heartbroken.
Don't worry, I don't think they'll give up on that. I think it's just postponed.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he did say, like, once this is all over and they can travel again, yeah, absolutely, which would be great, but, you know.
But, I mean, they've taken the whole trying to build a cosplay community thing on as well. So, and, I mean, they're at the point where they've turned around and said, it's not even like going to conventions, it's going to... Example, they went to Norfolk. They went to Artifake's workshop area, and they literally set up a tent in the grounds where Artifakes works, and basically said, "Come down." And there was a bonfire. We were chatting. Everyone's, yes, they gave away the phone, but then everyone started chatting and stuff.
And then it turns into a big old party.
Yeah, but they turned around and said, and this is what we were trying to encourage. It's not giving away the free foam. It's cosplayers just coming together and chatting and having a laugh, And yeah, I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah,
the hour and a half drive home, not so much, but
well, no, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Free foam is a godsend to any cosplayer. Like, foam isn't exactly the cheapest material. I mean, it's pretty cheap, but if you want a lot of it to make sure you have plenty of it, I mean, the company I go to now, like, I order a lot of foam. I order it in bulk. When I do order it, I order a lot because it's nice to have that stock ready to go. But, it can cost in, excess of like, 150 to 200 quid for one order. Easy.
So back in the day, Briarios is made completely from plastizote.
Oh God, yeah, you told me about plastizote. You can't get it anymore, you said, was it?
You can now.
Oh, you can.
There are some companies that have so Polyprops have taken on doing plastizote as a...
Oh, have they?
It's a LD45, so it's a low density foam.
Yeah.
But it was actually Artifakes who used to make on their live streams, they would say, we work in plastizote, because it was at the time, I believe, a LARP grade
Yep.
material for
Yep.
weapons and stuff.
Solid as anything.
So watching their live streams when I was building Brieri, I thought I'll build the whole costume out of that. £350 later in foam, and it's just a chest piece, helmet, gloves, and boot coverings, and the rifle. It's not the cheapest of foams, no. But
No.
you don't have to. You don't have to get the C100, CF100. You can get like the entry level, the lowest grade foam. For example, using polyprops, Rhinemax is made from their lowest, cheapest grade of foam. All of him. It's not. There's nothing else to him, other than maybe some Halford's floor mats for the feet for grip.
Oh, Halford's floor mats for the base of feet is like the default go-to really for any, like, you know, even if you're working with like the nicest foam, if it hasn't got a grip texture on it, there's no point using it. Like, but
then I used to get asked what did I build Baymax out of, and when I told people it's actually second-hand floor mats that someone was selling on eBay that I basically hand scrubbed every single one of them because I wasn't sure if someone had been doing yoga on them before I used them.
I remember you telling me that, and I was like,
but you when you're on a budget, that's what you do.
Casual Prop says, does it have any properties that makes it worth using? It's almost like a LARP safe foam straight off the bat, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically do I have any to hand? I don't think I do. It's a more forgiving foam.
It's not so much like CF100 or like CF60 or anything like that. It's not like floor matting. It's more rubbery and more. There you go. There it is. It's that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot more forgiving. So for a LARP grade weapon, it's you can hit people with it basically.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can hit people with foam, but foam does get a little bit harder, especially if you layer it up or something. But that looks super spongy and super soft.
So yeah, but this was built the same way that the Dragon Slayer was, which was also using Plastisote. Because that at the time, when I did the course, they were like, "What are we going to do?" And I expressed an interest in building parts of the armor, and they were like, "That could take quite a while. We need to do it within the 2-day time limit of the course." So yeah, but it was the realization that it's specific things for specific uses. So building armor out of it is not such a great thing, but building weapons and props.
Casual Prop said, so it's kind of softer and does paint bind better to it. That's the problem with that, isn't it? Really?
Yes. So with Plastisote, I've used latex.
Yeah, you got it. It's too rubbery or too soft for regular paint, really, isn't it?
I plasti dipped the armor. And then I think I had to do about 7 coats of paint over the top of the plasti dip to get it right. So my experience with the armor wasn't great, but I think you'll probably find other people have had success. Have they told you how many shares you have in the company yet, DeFrig?
No, they haven't. Honestly, do you know what's really funny though? Is I wonder if that would work on Plastisote. I wonder, because it's a rubber. It cures like rubber. So I wonder if it would actually work.
So the person to actually speak about that would probably be Dave Damon. He may have had experience with it. So
because Dave Damon's the one who got me onto this.
Yeah,
and I've never turned back since. Like, it's amazing stuff. Because EVA foam just cracks and creases. EVA foam does crack and crease. I'm not going to lie to you. It creases a little bit when you use Thompson Tenny Roof Sealer, but I've seen it creases a lot less with Roof Sealer. Even if it does crease quite, let's say you properly bent it, like by accident, and it did crease, literally take a heat gun, like at the lowest setting, not even close to it, quite far away from it, it relaxes the Roof Sealer back and the whole foam, and it all just comes out and you don't even see it. Genuinely, it's crazy how...
I was going to say, there is a trick with foam when it does that whole crunch, if you can get a heat gun on the inside of it and sometimes work the creasing out of it. But
if you massage it with your thumbs out, it properly gets rid of everything.
But then you risk damaging the paint job. That's the double-edged sword of it.
Well, it depends what you seal it with. I mean, if you seal it with something original, it might not just. I'm just saying, like. Have to go be a mum. You go be a mum. Hey, live action chair. Hello, how you doing? Awesome. It's really nice to see you all here. I'm not gonna lie. How long have we been going? Wow, almost 2 hours. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, luckily, I only have a few more questions for you. I say luckily. I don't mind as long as the chat doesn't mind. We've still got 8 viewers. We had 11 maximum just now, so that's absolutely awesome. I love seeing you guys here. I really hope that chat. I really hope that you guys enjoy my Q&A streams. I really hope they're not boring. I really hope that there's something about these that make people want to keep coming back because I just love it. I've got
It's your beard, dude.
I've got 1 or 2 more guests to come on, and then I'm going to be taking a break for a bit because I've got some stuff I want to be doing, and I hopefully then will start getting a guest list again, and then I'll jump back on and we'll start doing it again. Right. So, what would your advice be for somebody who's just starting off?
Don't be scared. Don't be, that's amazing. I don't think I could do that. Give it a go. I don't want to be the whole Shia LaBeouf just do it kind of thing, you know.
No, just do it.
That
like
my advice is don't be scared of making mistakes.
Oh god, yeah. Make mistakes. They're the fucking best.
Also, don't hide them from your wife.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Oh, Hot Rod Welder said, I took the day off work today just to catch the stream and to work on my Space Marine. Live Action Chair says, not boring. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, enjoy it so much. Always nice listening to people and their stories. Awesome. This is great. I love you guys. But yeah, by any chance, have you hidden things from your wife?
Well, there was the incident of my first ever Destiny cosplay that I made. Helmet that I actually had with the final cosplay was helmet number 7. I'd made 6 previous ones, and there was something slightly wrong with one, so that went. There was something not quite right with the next one. The eye line wasn't 100% straight, so the next one went, and
oh man.
And then I turned around to my wife and said, I'm now going to start working on the torso. She went, you get one chance with this.
I tell you what, back when I started and I was really bad with helmets and stuff, I did try to make my, like, especially back when I first built the first bolter I had, you know, that really bad bolter, the really crappy looking one I've got. But I tried building my first Space Marine helmet, like after me and Dave Damon had built my first one, which was sadly a bit too small and the glasses dug into my eyes. I tried to build my own Space Marine helmet. I can now, but back then it was, let's just say it didn't go well, so I made it into an Imperial Fist helmet. I'm talking like seams were just grim and things were popping apart, and this wasn't very well put together. Look, this is horrible, by the way. And the reason it looks horrible is because what I did was I didn't roof sealer it. I didn't want to. I just took the oldest tin of yellow paint that I had and just went all over it, and that's why it's cracked and grim and everything. But it is an Imperial Fist helmet, so who cares? It's why it has.
You stamped on that as well.
I have. Look, hold on. Let me just move my phone just to show you guys. You can just squeeze it and it just crushes, and then you just go pop, and there it is, and it's back. So it's a battered Imperial Fist helmet. There you go. For those of you who have my Instagram or pop it up onto chat there, I just posted Fort Kickass. You guys might want to have a look at that. It's a really funny little video. Did you see that?
I saw that.
That video is quite funny because I needed cardboard to build the box for the lasgun for Nerd Princess, and I was like, wow, that's a big box. That's a big old freezer box. I'm going to have some fun with that. So let's have a look at the chat. Awesome. I do want to meet you all in person. That'd be awesome for you to come over from Sweden and come and see us. I'm from Iceland. Awesome. Casual props. I love that. Coming from someone who used to play IF back in the old days. Nice. Awesome. And then back to them for her Primaris army. That's awesome. But only a few more questions. Not that I'm in a hurry at all. I'm in no hurry whatsoever. But this and no, don't like say that now. I want an honest answer now, okay?
Okay.
So, do you have a favorite cosplayer? Like someone you look up to. Like everyone knows mine's Adam Savage when it comes to the celebrity side of things. But the amount of friends, the amount of like close friends that I look up to, there's a lot of you, and you included, by the way. So don't even.
So if we're talking like top tier,
Well, we can talk celebrities if you want, like people like
so
and then we can
my
go.
My go-to has to be Evil Ted Smith.
Evil Ted Smith. He is so cool. I absolutely love him. He's the coolest.
I started watching his YouTube videos back in the day, and that's pretty much how I learned to cut foam. Was watching his videos and basically cutting along with Ted.
Yeah, literally, it is cutting along with Ted. I love that.
And then he started doing the whole spraying with his critter gun and the latexing, and he did videos and stuff. And then he started doing Twitch live streaming.
I love his Twitch live streams.
And I remember kind of posting pictures of Reinhardt and basically asking him how would he strap the shoulders. And he took one look at he said, I've seen a picture. He clicked on it. He went, if you haven't clicked and looked, and he started bigging me up.
Yes, boy.
And yes. I was just like, he goes, I've got no way I would know how to do that because I don't build big builds.
Oh, he's such a wholesome human being. Like,
but then I've shared pictures of Berserk, the armor, and he was just like, I love it, and you can see progression. And he's such a nice guy. I wish they would get him to come. If the dream convention would be having Evil Ted Smith doing a panel and Adam Savage doing a panel.
I've said this multiple times. If Adam Savage ever comes to the UK to a convention that I'm at or guesting at or anything, just at a convention that I happen to be able to go to, you have no idea how fast I would get there. Like I would get there like 3 weeks before and just stand by the door. Like, like I would get my ticket delivered to me at the convention of the door, so I could actually at the door of the convention even, so I could get in.
So the problem with them coming over is they can't bring their props. They can't bring stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Adam has bought some of his cosplays over, some of them. Because I know I had Sneaky Zebra on stream, and they've actually worked with him. They've worked with him in the US. And
damn.
Mate, don't even. I was so... just... Everyone knows that Adam Savage is my, number one cosplayer. And Casual Prop says the right answer to that is myself is always the right answer, is the cosplayer you look up to. Ted was in the UK earlier this year and was at the end of last year. I think so. I'm not 100%. Ted was here. He actually met up with some people that Dragonheart knows, friends of his.
Damn it!
It's kind of weird how little info there is online for big armor rigging and strapping. The struggle is real. Yeah, I mean, I struggled for a while with my Iron Warrior to do the shoulders and stuff until I basically spoke to several people and also just was like, fuck it, try something. Like I just went nuts and tried something myself and it worked. Believe
it was the look on your face when you saw the harness I built for Baymax.
Oh my god, I looked at that and was just like, it's just so complicated. Where does this go? And you were like, that goes there. And I'm like, what about this? That goes around that and then through this and up into that. And I'm like, it was, but hey, at least it secures Baymax to you. Do you know what I really love about that harness is your battery holder with the straps. That is the coolest thing. You just pop your battery in, connect your connectors.
You mean the 12-volt emergency lighting battery?
The 12-volt emergency lighting battery, by the way. The really big, heavy industrial light batteries. He has a pocket for and holds it onto his chest and then connects a positive and a negative to it, and it powers the 4 large computer fans, the 12-volt computer fans in his back for Baymax. Did we install the fans back on?
You got them working again.
I got them working, but did we put them back? Did we rewire them?
Yes, you did.
Oh, good. I wasn't
Which
sure.
I will be honest, I never actually asked you to, and I'm very grateful that you did because my wiring is atrocious.
Don't worry, it was only like 2 pieces that I needed to solder and put a connector on. It was like not an issue at all. Like, I mean, coming from you, that's like amazing because obviously you have cooling in your suits, whereas I don't. At all.
In one suit.
Well, yeah. I mean, your I know there's one suit you said that's really breathable and awesome, and that's your with the sword, your Berserk.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's loads of like the panels you can actually air can go through and actually cool you. So you just go outside, you cool down, you come back in.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens a little bit in my Iron Warrior between the shoulders. It goes in my armpit and under and
You
inside the
have to lift
chest.
your arms up though to get
Yeah,
it.
I lift my arms. Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes I lift my chest like that, and then the air will get in underneath. And it goes around the groin as well, and that's always the coldest.
So with Reinhardt, it was fine until I put the rear light in the back thruster, and I had to put the piece of foam,
Yeah.
and that just so much air stopped that
Yeah.
I actually they found me collapsed at London Film and Comic Con against the wall wearing Reinhardt.
Yeah, I remember
And
you telling me that. I wasn't
couple of
there for that
friends,
one, but I remember you telling me that.
yeah, a couple of friends ended up having to basically de-kit me and then sit me down and get me water because I basically passed out to the point where I was pins and needles all down one side of my body from wearing it.
Like, oh god, don't talk about pins and needles. Don't talk about pins and needles. Harry gets like flashbacks to Vietnam when we were at Warhammer Fest testing my Power Fist for the first time. Hot Roll Welder, I'm hesitating on my shoulders right now. Don't hesitate. Go for it. Build them, put them together, slap it all in. It's only pepper cure. You'll slap them all together and you'll get it. You'll get it done.
What part is it that I can't see the chat, so I do apologize. But what is it? The part that he's hesitating with? Is it like
the actual shoulders in general, like the building of said shoulders? I know they were difficult for me too, but personally, the hardest part about my Space Marine was the chest piece. That was the hardest part for me, personally. That was, back when I was building it, obviously. I feel now, if I could do it now, I reckon I could do it. Done. There you go. Like it works. Harry just said spotter flashbacks intensify. Yeah, I really messed him up that convention. It was really funny.
We are really kind of hard on our minions, aren't we?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I try to be nice to Harry when I can. Like, I reward him. No, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's gonna. I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna hate me if he ever comes to Sci-Fi Weekender with me, though.
No, because he's part of the family.
You know what? Actually, you're right. He's going to get as drunk, if not more so, when we're in cosplay, so that'll be fine. I want to see a Krieger, full Krieg cosplay, just completely wankered holding a bottle of beer. That would just be the best.
No, what he has to do is he has to get the novelty beer holding with the straws into the mask.
And then put your commissar hat on and then put the two tubes in under the mask. That'd be amazing. That would just be the best. Hot Dog Welder, I've got the base of them built. I'm not happy with the shape of them, and I'm working out to get into the shape I want. Good. If you look at it and you know yourself that the shape isn't right to you, if the shape isn't right, that's a good thing because you're seeing things that aren't right to you, so you can correct them before you carry on. I've done it where I built something, started priming it, and then saw that it wasn't right in some place, and then I've had to let it dry and then rip it apart and put it back together and then fix it, and that's a nightmare when you have to do that because I have to wait a whole 24 hours for this stuff to dry. For this stuff to dry, it has to be 24 hours. Whereas I know Plasti Dip apparently is like 10 hours max, and it's probably dry.
So I can't get to it at the moment, but I have some stuff from Polyprops. It's called Seal, and you can buy it in brush on or spray can.
Seal Prime.
That's the stuff.
I think so that's what Andrew uses. At least I think.
Yeah. So that's what this is primed with, and it is. I have to say, it's amazing stuff when it comes out of a spray can.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Can you imagine if I could get this stuff in a can, in a spray can? It couldn't because it's too thick. But God, that would be amazing. Although people have said I can put this if I have a proper compressor. I can water this down just a little bit and spray it on with an actual car, sprayer, which is kind of crazy. But
so my father-in-law, very kindly.
What a legend! What an absolute legend!
So you can mix up stuff, water it down, and spray it.
Man.
So I haven't had a chance to play with that as yet, but I'm technically only borrowing it.
Let's see. They are floppy, and I need them stiffer. Have you put the inner shoulder inside? You know, there's like that outer skin, and then there's the piece that goes around, and then there's two pieces go on the inside, and then that tiny shoulder that goes in to fill the gap. That makes it all rigid.
And if it's also what you can do is do strips of 10mm foam.
Yeah.
And basically you put them in just to give that little bit extra reinforcement, which I did with Reinhardt.
You've done with Reinhardt, yeah.
Yeah, I even used, I had some old Halford's floor mats.
Halford's floor mat for inside structural work is the best. They're so strong.
but where you got the jigsaw bits, connecting them back together again and using them, and yeah, just it's layers, unfortunately.
Casual Prop said, I don't know about the shape of yours, but I've had good results with putting a bit of Warbler inside mine to keep them in the right shape. That's also a good idea. I've only worked with Warbler once, but I'm not crazy keen on it, like personally.
I've not had great experiences
No,
with it, but I would
neither have
say
I.
no. I would never. I wouldn't say I'd never use it again.
Oh
I
no, if
think
someone gave me a small like A4 sheet of it and said try it out, yeah, I'd try it out.
it's something to play with. It is kind of pricey, but I have
Yeah.
heard that there are other companies who make similar thermoplastic sheets and stuff. You can get some really, really lovely results with it. You just got to be patient and know how to use it. Unfortunately, I'm not that patient.
I tell you what, with that stuff is if I was to get it, I would get it in black, but apparently it's more expensive in black, which is a
And
shame.
clear.
Which is a shame. And clear. I didn't know they did clear. I didn't know they did clear. I know
Um,
they did black. I know they
so
do that brown sandy one.
the visor for the environmental suit that Ben's wearing in the
Oh yeah, yeah. Was that clear
that's
warbler?
clear warbler.
Oh wow, wow. So is it that see through? Is it? Is it
Yeah.
just? Yeah, brilliant. I'm gonna have to look at clear warbler then because I mean the visors I use I buy in a sheet of A4. They're tinted. They're one way only, so you can see in but you can't see. Sorry, you can see out but you can't see in.
So I have a very, very, very good friend who was the best man at my wedding, who runs a bike shop and has lots of multicolored lenses from
Oh, awesome,
sunglasses.
awesome.
And if they have any left over or people, scratched one and get rid of the, I get loads of stuff like that. So
That's awesome.
I'm just struggling to find some green ones to go in Epi on, because if I can get the green mirrored lenses, it'll look really good.
We're getting my mod is going a bit crazy right now with no in capitals. Don't get the clear one. I work for the official reseller of Warbler in Switzerland. If you have any questions, just message me. Well, text me, but just message me. Dan's worked with the clear stuff. I know you did the visor for that suit, but is it that bad to work with, or?
It wasn't great to work with. I personally put it down to my skill level being quite atrocious, but it was needs must. And the end result, the client was happy with the end result, and you could see through it.
Well, as long as the client was happy, that's the best one. Right, one of my last. There's one question here that I'm going to completely avoid because there's no point asking you because I know the answer to it already, and I don't even think anyone in the chat would want to know because it's: do you prefer to buy or make your own cosplays? Duh, you make your own cosplays. There's
If I could find one that would fit me that I could buy, then I wouldn't be against buying a cosplay.
But your
for
work
me,
is incredible, though.
The fun is making them. But I will take this opportunity now that you said that, is that I don't want anyone to ever feel that just because they've bought their cosplay, it's in any shape, way, or form less than.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Whether it's bought, made, or bought and modified, or bought from somebody else, but then you've painted it. It doesn't matter as long as you're happy. But I always ask my cosplay guests, do you prefer to buy or make cosplays? Because I've had some people be like, I prefer to buy because I don't really want to make anything, or some people I can't make something.
But it all depends on the circumstances. You had Dave Sinclair on, and he said I remember seeing how he said he bought Rogel Dawn. But then you see what he's doing with the orc boots.
Yeah,
and stuff,
like he has bought all of his cosplays except for the orc that he's currently building, and wow, it's amazing. Like,
and you see and I remember him posting something about the robot from the new Meet the Robinsons.
Meet the Robinsons, yeah.
He was saying he would love to do it, and it's kind of, but he doesn't think he could, and it's like, I think he could.
Yeah, I absolutely. If he had, honestly, he's not really working off any patterns. He's just making stuff himself, and it's great to see.
But I mean, from just looking at, it's giving it a go as well.
Exactly.
But at the same time, people don't have time. People do work. People work full time. People have jobs. People have other things. And at the end of the day, cosplay is that. It's costume play. It's not mine's better than yours because I built it. It's let's go have a drink and let's have fun. That's my ethos on it.
And that's I think that's mine too. Just have fun with it. As long as you're
Yeah,
enjoying it, that's the main thing. It doesn't matter what other people think, really.
yeah.
In the end. Casual props, Dragonheart. Oh, the official seller. Are you? Could we get some sweet deals then? And she says, sadly, not outside of Switzerland. Like,
How much is postage from Switzerland?
actually, I think postage from Switzerland is quite a lot. Actually, from what I remember talking to Dragonheart about posting stuff, it is quite costly. I think.
That was a joke. I don't.
No. I know that, but I mean, like,
shouldn't-
I think the actual price, like postage from
Oh.
Switzerland, can be costly to the UK. So at least I think so. I'm not sure. She might correct me in chat. We'll see. This is one of the second to last question I wanted to ask you, which is how many conventions have you done?
Oh, I think I'm at about 15.
That's
Or
not
take.
bad. 15's quite good.
Um, I am counting some. I mean, there's a really nice guy who I met through Andy Judge Marshall, who runs some small conventions up in like Nantwich and stuff, where he was like, "Could you bring your Baymax costume? Could you bring your Reinhardt costume?" And yes, they were small conventions, but they were good conventions.
Yeah, no, I still, even if it's like, if it's an event you have to drive to and there
Yeah.
are people there and people pay to get in, it's a convention, I count that. Because, like, last year, I think me and Harry all together, we did 20 plus conventions last year, easy.
You did more conventions in 1 year than I've done since I started this 5 years ago.
Yeah, but remember that, though. Me and Harry are both single men, like, not. Like we're not married, we don't have kids. When I say single men, I'm gonna get yelled by Dragonheart now. No, I know you're going out, but I'm talking like married with a house and kids and a mortgage, and I'm talking like that. Whereas you have a family life, whereas Harry and me, we're both, sort of, let's do this, let's go to every con, let's just do it. But because I know that you've got a lot of planning to do before you go to a convention.
Yeah,
You've got to make sure the kids are okay and
kids, childcare
and stuff like that. Absolutely. And also make sure,
make sure she doesn't discover how much I've spent on a costume, and
and also make sure that when you do leave the childminder with your children, to make sure your daughter doesn't ride her bike downhill.
She has a new one and it has brakes.
Brilliant! That's awesome.
Until I need fingers moving again.
What do you guys consider large or small conventions? That's interesting, actually, as a question, because MCM is probably one of the biggest in the UK, and that's very big. But compared to ones in America...
Oh, we're small.
Compared to ones in America, MCM London is like that. Compared to the ones in America. Compared to, Dragon Con.
Oh, God. I mean,
don't even it all depends. To us, a big convention, I'd say, is a good. How many people would you say go to MCM London? A good couple of thousand, easy.
I don't know. I remember hearing someone band around 30 to 40,000 over the entire weekend.
Over the weekend, yeah. Whereas I reckon America could probably double or triple that, easy.
Oh, easily
in a day, without even thinking about it,
But yeah, so I'd probably in the UK, you've got the large ones, which is like the London Film and Comic Con.
Yeah.
You've got MCM.
Yeah.
You've got, I think that's it actually.
Yeah.
UK Game Expo.
UK Game Expo.
I'd say they're probably same level as the MCM at London Film and Comic Con.
And then you've got the smaller ones, which are what used to be Cardiff Film and Comic Con, and the UK Comic and Gaming Festivals, which I'm with now. They're amazing events,
and then you've got Sci-Fi Weekender. I would say actually probably falls more into a festival category.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sci-Fi Weekend is not so much like your regular convention, because Sci-Fi Weekend is more focused around, less massively around cosplay, but most big events like MCM and stuff like that. But it's more the entertainment and the guests and the celebrities and stuff. But it's more of a festival. I agree. It's more of a festival. It's
So that one's difficult to quantify, but yeah, I'd probably say we're probably in the UK. We're probably scale-wise medium to small.
There you go. Anime Central is my biggest hot rod welder says, and that was 35k I also work around a few which are 1,500 to 2,000 people. And we also have from Casual Props, Wiki says MCM London 2016 had 133,156 people attend over the weekend.
Wow. Okay, I was well off.
Which is a lot of people. But you don't see it. Like, you don't see it as that many people when you're there. But over a whole weekend, in and out, it's probably that many people. But America could triple that easily without even thinking about it. But I tell you what, this is my last question to you, Mr. DC Theo Models, Daniel Theophani. Where can people find you, my friend? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook at DC Theo Models. You can find me on Instagram at the same. And I'm really crap at social media, so that's about it.
It's fine. You don't have to have all the social medias. I mean, Instagram and Facebook are probably the main two nowadays, really, for cosplayers, like in general.
You'll probably find more of my work on Instagram, if I'm 100% honest, because it's so much easier to just post a picture of what I'm doing. I like my in-progress pics, and I like just, being able to, there you go, that's what I'm working on.
Casual Props, I think there might be somewhere if you online, if you Google it, finding about all the cosplay events in the UK. I think Facebook's probably really good for that. There's I think there's one page which has all the different events on it. I think
there was someone who was compiling lists of all the conventions.
Yeah, someone had a crazy list of conventions and told you all the ones. It didn't tell you when they are. It just told you what con it was and where they are.
Yeah,
it's like the Excel Center and so on and so on. I would like to say a massive thank you to everyone who has come to see the fabulous Daniel Theophani of DC.
Thank you very much.
Can I just say thank you so much to Dan himself for coming on? I know I got you at the beginning there. I had to, because genuinely you are one of the most amazing cosplayers, and I really hope that Epion goes all the way and... Well, I can see Epion hopefully stomping around with the Iron Warrior and a Krieg at Sci-Fi Weekender, hopefully.
I might have to make some modifications so I fit in.
But genuinely, can we just say, once again, thank you for coming along, and over 2 hours easily for, chatting away about this, that, and the other. Have you got people popping in?
I have. My wife is bringing me dinner because I
have
missed dinner, so she's very kind. I have pizza.
Oh, brilliant! Say hello from everyone in chat to your lovely wife there.
Everyone in chat says hello. She said hi and then she just closed the door.
Oh. Right. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you again to my mod. And I just want to say I think this will be nearer to where the end of my streams are happening in terms of how many I'm doing. For now, I'm going to be taking a break. But obviously, I have got, I think, 3 people before it finally finishes for this section of people. I know I've got a lot more. So there's a fair few I would like to have on. There's more cosplay guests I'd love to get, and I'm in the process of messaging and chatting to people now for the next lot of people. But before we do go, I have started making a thing of checking who is online to see if I can raid anyone. And sadly, every time I do my streams, there's only 1 or 2 people on, and there's no one really I can actually raid. So... I might do one later at some point and see if there's anyone I can actually raid. I did raid someone the other day on my last stream, which was a lot of fun. But at least I know how to do it now. So, just want to say again, thank you so much to everyone for coming. And again, thank you to Daniel Theophani. So, we'll see you all again soon. And bye for now.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.